Well, dude, it's well. So okay, so people that aren't out there, HBO doc. It's on HBO Max.
HBO
and
Max.
It's the Willie Mays doc, and it's spectacular. And there is a scene in it where it's a long scene, and I'm glad it's very powerful, and it explains how Willie Mays tried to buy a home in Mariloma Park in San Francisco. If you don't know where that is, just think like West Portal, Forest Hill area, and it was very contentious. And this is in the late 50s, early 60s, and they wanted to, a white man wanted to sell him the home, and the neighbors like revolted. And it was one of the seminal moments in San Francisco to take a step forward, but it was ugly.
It was ugly.
It was very ugly, and it's well documented. And my cousin John, who bought a home up in that area, knew all about it, and he had educated me on this a couple years back. And I had heard stories of it, and then when he brought it up because the doc was getting released, I started doing research on it. I mean, it was disgusting. He got bottles thrown through his window and just horrible things. Anyway, so just keep going because it was powerful.
So I've got the Willie Mays book, The Life, the Legend, Willie Mays by James S. Hirsch. Somebody gave me that book a few years ago, the Willie Mays book, and I remember reading that and so some of the things were coming together.
Yeah.
But by the end of the documentary, when he vouched for Barry Bonds, but it wasn't just that. It was him sitting next to Stretch Willie McCovey, and I saw Juan Marichal, and I saw Orlando Cepeda, and the way they spoke about Willie Mays and how he played stickball with the kids. I had to stop myself from sobbing. I was broken. I was just like, because it was tears of joy, tears of sadness because he's in his 90s. What he's did for Barry Bonds, like we all say, Barry Bonds saved baseball in San Francisco, got the ballpark built, but there would be no baseball in San Francisco without Willie Mays.
100%. And so okay, just to give you my perspective of it, because I don't know what yours is, and I'd love to know what yours is. In my house, my dad's favorite player of all time is Willie Mays.
I remember you telling me that.
My dad wears 24.
I saw him tweet or on Facebook last night.
My dad wears 24, and every team he's ever been on because of Willie Mays. The basket catch was something that we did in the backyard. I'm almost getting teared up right now thinking about it.
Everybody practiced that.
But that Willie Mays is like, there's Jesus, there's the family, then there's Joe Montana and Willie Mays, right? Those were the guys, and obviously Rick Barry was his other guy. And so, like, to see the Willie Mays thing, because I always knew all about it, and I studied everything, but to see footage that I'd never seen, to see Candlestick, to see all that.
How sick was the minor league footage?
It was ridiculous.
Birmingham, Minnesota.
How about Rick Way, the ballpark that he helped save?
Yeah.
That was absolutely incredible. That team that he was on.
He was loaded.
I mean, the pastor that was talking about it, and how he had all his faculties, and it was awesome.
And people left church early because they couldn't get a seat there. Was it Rick Woodfield?
I think it's Rick Wood, yeah.
Rick Woodfield.
And I'm thinking, like, Willie's only a couple years older than my grandfather, right? And so I'm looking at this man tell his stories, and it was incredible, and it felt like there's a family thing here. And that's the thing, like, I know a lot of people who aren't from the Bay Area, they don't get what the attachment is to Barry Bonds, for me, and for people around here. It's family. And I was thinking about, and I'm not going to all Aaron Judge here, but I was thinking about just the long legacy of family that the Giants have. And when Bonds is crying at that presser.
At his introductory presser.
Saying, I wanted to come home, and I played in this dugout, and all these different little stories. And I was thinking about Willie Mays and how my connection through my dad to Willie Mays. And then my favorite player is Barry Bonds, whose godfather is Willie Mays.
Right.
It's just, the Giants have a weird connection to this community.
So that's why when the pitches come out for Aaron Judge, Barry Bonds must make that pitch.
100%.
Willie Mays must make that pitch.
100%.
You got to throw Stretch McCovey on the video board for him. You got to throw Juan
Tito
Marichal.
Fuentes.
Tito Fuentes is all-time great. He was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
How great was he?
Unbelievable. Orlando Cepeda. Saying how when Willie Mays came to Puerto Rico, he was a ball boy. It was like, that's why I wanted to play baseball, because of Willie. Leo DeRosa naming the five-tool player.
How great was that?
Throw, catch, field, hit for power, hit for speed. I mean, it was unbelievable. And so when you think about Willie, and I honest to God, I teared up at the end of it.
I did too.
On the couch, and I had to sit up and just pause it for a second, because I said, man, I don't know how long Willie's going to be with us, because at his introductory press, at Barry Bonds Hall of Fame, when he got his number retired at Oracle Park, Willie Mays was basically saying, I'm not going to be here forever. I'm not going to be here forever. I know we got the sound of the second Chesky.
I had Sam pull it, because it's funny that connected with you, because I watched that, and I was thinking, on the day that the Hall of Fame thing came out, I hope America is watching that.
But it wasn't just that speech that hit me. It was the totality of that documentary.
I'm with you.
This guy leaving the kids banging on his window. banging on his window to come play stickball.
It was great.
He plays stickball with him for an hour, takes him to go get ice cream, and then go plays a game. So when they got to Seal Stadium, honest to God, I wanted to ask you before we play this.
Yeah.
Your grandfather.
Yeah.
He had to be there at Seal Stadium.
So it's funny that you bring this up. I have a picture in my house right now of a letter on my other side of the family that my great-grandfather wrote to the San Francisco Seals in 1939.
Wow.
Okay? It's a picture. And on the picture, I'll show it to you. It's typed out and everything, on a little typewriter.
Yeah.
They hand stamped it with a graphic, the stamp of the stadium. It was him suggesting color in the jerseys.
Wow.
And they ended up putting navy blue and orange. And I'm not saying it's because of him, but they had very mundane colors. And he says you can't see the numbers from the stands. So my family, yes, did go to Seal Stadium.
So Papa Shasky.
Of course, he's been there a zillion times. And you got to understand, they paint the portrait of how Joe DiMaggio, even though he was born in Martinez, was San Francisco's own. There was a pipeline. This was a Yankee Red Sox territory because that's what all the minor leagues were.
Right.
They were a funnel. The Pacific Coast League was a funnel to the Yankees and the Red Sox. And so Dom DiMaggio goes to the Red Sox. Yep. Joe DiMaggio goes to the Yankees.
And how sick was it that he hit that 2-run jack against the Giants in the World
Series?
Come
on, dog.
I mean,
the dog was incredible.
The 51 World Series. So by the end of it, and we'll play this in just a second, it wasn't just a speech at the end. It was everything.
How about that? I want to ask you about Dr.
Reggie
Harry
Jackson.
Edwards.
How about Dr. Harry Edwards?
Because this was something that was important.
Unbelievable.
Because as we talk so much about like Kyrie and all these different people, Steph Curry is an example.
Right.
Some people say shut up and dribble. Some people say no, be more powerful on the day of voting.
Right.
There were so many nuances of different people, and Jackie Robinson specifically, calling him out, and you could tell it really hurt Willie Mays.
Oh, it hurt him because he said...
I felt for him.
But he said, and this is how I feel.
Yeah.
Some people say, Bonte, you need to speak out and defend so-and-so, and this happens with everybody.
More for the black community.
But Willie Mays said it perfectly. I think I do special things for the community. I know I'm not Malcolm X. I'm not Martin Luther King Jr. I'm a baseball player, but I'm going to do what I can to help out the black community and minorities. So by me playing, by me looking for a house in San Francisco, I'm opening doors for the next person to move into the neighborhood. I'm opening the door for the next minority player, black player, to play. We had all these Dominican players on the Giants, and Willie Mays said that was beautiful. 7 of them. He said our clubhouse was riveting, and I was the leader. And so who was the manager? Dick.
Dark. Alvin Dark.
Alvin Dark.
Sorry.
Alvin Dark, who was telling Walt Marshall and them, hey, you got to speak English in here. Willie Mays was like, no.
Don't play your music.
Don't play your music. Willie was like, no. I got you guys back. So it's the same thing for us. What we're doing at the station is opening doors for the next generation.
Of course.
That's why we love going out to high school. That's why we love talking to kids. Yeah. And that's what Willie did. And that hit me hard because it was so true. It's like you don't all have to be out there speaking, but you speak with your actions. Exactly. And that's what Willie did.
Well, and crazy stats that I was on. They were the second winningest team in the 60s. I didn't know that.
Crazy.
I didn't know that. And then I also didn't know that they were the number 1 on the road attendance team.
That's insane.
They were the number 2 attendance team at home in the 60s. Then the A's move in 68, and it just cuts everything in half.
How about Reggie Jackson in that, Doc?
Reggie Jackson was incredible. First off, when he talks about, I want to meet this Reggie Jackson. I want to meet this Reggie Jackson.
Who's this Reggie Jackson?
It was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. And then the Bobby Bonds stuff, which this is where I wish it was like a 7 or 8 part doc, because they didn't even dive in to Bobby and some of his own demons and how he was traded many times. But you could see in a small way, if you know anything about Barry, you could see why he was the way he was. Think of how Willie was ostracized by a lot of Jackie Robinson, his idol. His freaking idol. And you wonder why Barry had a chip on his shoulder with the media because of the way Willie was portrayed. And then him stumbling. I'm going to tell you this right now. I know so much about Willie. I have studied it because my dad's favorite player. My theory or at least my impression of what happened in New York when he was a Met was that he was stumbling and fumbling around and he looked washed. I didn't know the way that I saw that highlight was not my impression of the still photo of seeing him on the ground where he's on his knees. It looks like he's a bumbling old man begging for a call when he's the guy on deck saying the guy was safe.
But what's crazy? What's crazy is that was a Game 7.
I couldn't believe it.
And Reggie said people forget he had to go ahead hit. He had to go ahead hit to give him the lead. He had to go ahead hit that game.
That was in game 5.
Game 5 to
Game
give
7,
him the lead.
he's in the dugout, and they're down.
Oh, yeah, they didn't. Yogi Berra didn't pitch hit for him, which pissed me off.
Bob Costas is saying, and by the way, Bob Costas was brilliant.
He dropped a word, and I had to Google
What's
this.
that?
Runyon-esque. Runyon-esque.
What does that even mean?
I was looking it up, and it's got so many different meanings. And I'm like, of course Bob Costas is out here trying to throw 100-mile-an-hour fastballs on the black, trying to show his stuff. Well, I mean, he was trying to hit grand slams.
It was incredible. So if you're a baseball fan, if you're a member of the Bay Area community, if you care about just the history of this area and what sports did, and I think people don't understand, the Niners were the first team born and raised here. The Giants legitimized sports in this region because baseball was the king of king sports back then. And talking about how the 50s and the advent of television had made Willie Mays a star. And one of the first ever televised World Series is Yankees-Giants, New York versus New York.
It was sick. Yankees-Giants, Yankee Stadium.
By the way,
going back to Yankee Stadium. Oh, the Polo Grounds is sick. When
DiMaggio hit that ball down the line.
I know. The 2-run home run. He smoked it.
I said, I want more Polo Grounds. Why has someone not rebuilt the Polo Grounds?
But then you get the 54 series, and you hear the Shea kid, John Shea, that doc from the San Francisco Chronicle. Oh, he was all-time great.
Was he in his bag?
I want to talk to him soon. He was talking about the 54 series where you get the Cleveland Indians, and they're the best team, winning 111 games. They were picked to sweep the Giants, and the pivotal, that play, that catch was so pivotal. And then, you know what I did love, too? The Ed Sullivan Show where they had all the All-Stars there. Why can't we do that? Why can't we get somebody
in their uniforms?
In their uniforms. They used to do that in college football, too, like the parade or the Playboy All-Americans or whatnot. Get all these guys together, do more things like that.
And Vic Wirtz standing next to him in a Cleveland jersey.
I know.
And he's talking about, I thought I hit it pretty good.
Right.
And he's running back. And when you have Bonds giggling like a little boy, to me, Bonds was a star. I thought Shea Hay was a star.
First of all, Bonds set the tone. I rewinded it like 3 times. At the very beginning, because he's like, I'm hitting these line drives and they're going up. And Willie goes, boy, you gonna put yourself in a slump. You didn't hit it. Boom. And so Barry's like, boom. And then all of a sudden you see Willie Mays just hitting shots, line drives. And I was like, okay, Barry Lobar Bonds has just set the tone. Let me pull up and let me lock in. And it took me, the documentary was about an hour and a half. It took me about 2 hours and 15 minutes to get through.
Because you kept rewinding.
I kept rewinding stuff.
I did too.
I kept rewinding, pausing. It was like looking up things. And I'm just like, damn, I didn't know this. I thought I knew it, and I didn't know it.
No, not the nuance that they provided.
Right.
Keep it real with you, though. Willie was always a legend, but don't you even look at him in even more of a higher light?
Well, I remember us debating about whether or not who's the greatest player of all time, and I was like, you have a theory. I didn't see him, so I can't put him up there. And I get all that, right? Barry Bonds. But to me, when people talk about Willie, and I'd never seen him play. You just heard about
the reverence.
Him, the legend, the reverence, and everything about him. I hear the way your dad talks about him. I hear the way OGs talked about him when I was growing up. To me, Willie is the greatest. Willie is, and I've never seen him play. I don't need to see him play to know.
How about one? Okay, if anyone's ever been to Candlestick Point, all right, I've played games at Crocker. That was our home field before Reardon got really built, and that's my home park. I grew up right there. It was a helicopter pad, and that wasn't on the water like Candlestick Point was. Now, I played at Gilman Park, okay, and you got blockage from the stadium, Candlestick Stadium, from the wind. It was so windy, and this is when it was open, okay? He goes, maybe 10 to 15
home runs. 10 to 15 home runs.
A year.
He said 10 to 15 overall, but then finally at the end.
That were knocked down.
Right, that were knocked down, no doubt. But he found a way to hit. He adjusted. He didn't complain. He adjusted to start hitting them in the right center field. So the Willie Mays documentary on HBO Max, really good. And then, of course, the Barry Bonds Hall of Fame ceremony at Oracle Park when they retired and stuff. I remember,
cried.
Were you at the Get Park that day?
No, I wasn't. My brother was there. I had a family on the other side of the family. My brother was there, and my brother is me and my brother's favorite player.
Right.
Like, you got to understand, like, Barry Bonds, when he was a Pirate, he was my favorite player. Right? And so when he signed with the Giants, because they had one foot out the door, it was Kevin Mitchell and Barry Bonds. Those were my two favorite players. I don't know. And the other thing, and look, I'm a white guy from San Francisco, from the Excelsior. I know you're a black man. For me to see the influx of ethnicity in that dugout and the vibrance that team played with, it was incredible. And he was talking about, we had 7 guys.
7 guys from the Dominican Republic on that team. 7. And the baby bull, Orlando Cepeda.
I wish McCovey was in the dog.
I wish. No, I miss McCovey. And that's why I teared up, because I saw Stretch next to Willie when Willie got up and said this at Barry Bonds Hall of Fame ceremony.
When people talk about, who's the best ball player in the world? I don't care. Give somebody honor that deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. On behalf of all the people in San Francisco and all over the country, vote this guy in. He is very, very important to me. Thank you very much.
And so Willie Mays, so I was at the park that day.
I'm ready to cry.
I was at the park that day, and when Willie got up and grabbed the microphone, and he's like, you know what? I need to go to the podium because everybody needs to hear this.
Yeah.
And I remember that, and I saw Stretch, because I love those, like Willie Mack Day, when they give out the Willie Mack Award, it's one of my favorite days of the year.
Of course.
Because you see Willie Mack there, it means something. You get Kruk up there running material.
Have you ever met Stretch?
I never met Stretch. I met the Baby Bull.
So my dad's favorite player is Willie Mays. My grandfather's is Willie McCovey.
He came to speak to Junior Giants one time. I happened to be there, and it was amazing.
I got him one-on-one. It was me and my Uncle Jim, who's not a baseball fan. He got me onto the field, and I was in the elevator with him, and I said, Stretch, I never watched you play, but you're one of my grandfather's favorite players of all times. Oh, sir. And he had this is when he had the two like braces around his arms to help him walk.
Yeah.
He moved one of them off, came, gave me a huge handshake. The most nice, genuine, down-to-earth man of all time, and just larger-than-life smile.
One of my favorite interviews was Peter Gammons. Talking to Willie McCovey before World Series against Texas, and he was on the field with Stretch, and they were talking, this is before the 2010 World Series, before Game 1, everybody's taking BP, and Peter Gammons is right there with the one-on-one on Stretch. I watched the whole damn thing live, and Stretch is just talking about, I love watching Buster Posey, the way he hits the ball, the inside-out sweep, and he's talking old stories and old baseball, and you're just sitting around the TV like, damn, this is baseball royalty, the way they treat a Stretch.
Yes.
And then you get Willie Mays, and you talk about the Baby Bull. I got to meet the Baby Bull one time, and he's a hoot. Tito Fuentes, we've got to meet him many times.
Was Tito Fuentes
the whole damn documentary was like...
He goes, when he cup checked him?
Yeah, when he cup checked, he's like, what are you doing, man? But that was Willie.
I know,
Willie was
great.
just one of the guys, and he was a captain. And so he just wanted to play as a team. And the best thing he said at the end of the documentary, he goes, well, they started the doc by asking him, are you the greatest baseball player ever?
It was brilliant.
And so they ended the doc with that same question. He goes, why would you ask me something like that? I don't know. He goes, do people come up to me and say, hey, Willie, we enjoyed you playing? That means more to me than saying, hey, I'm the greatest. Everybody can play. My dad can play. There's been a number of baseball players who can play at a high level. I don't know who the greatest is. I just enjoy playing the baseball. Baseball was everything to me. It was my love. We came together, and we made beautiful music.
He spent 2 years in the Army barnstorming for the troops and missed the beginning of his career. Like it's his entire story is incredible. Like it's absolutely incredible. And I'm just so glad that they put out a documentary. John Shea, who writes for the Chronicle, is a brilliant historian and storyteller. He was so good.
Costas
John Miller.
Was good. Oh,
Costas.
You know what, John Miller?
It was so good.
John Miller, so underrated as storytelling and giving the details. I'm like, damn, John Miller's in this. He's bringing his A game for this documentary.
Unbelievable.
And then Barry Bonds teared up. I teared up at the end of it. It was a great documentary. Willie Mays.
I can't wait to watch it again.
Yeah, no doubt. It'd be watched over and over and over again. HBO did a great job, and to see Willie like that, laughing at the end, it was great. It was great. So I suggest everybody watch the Willie Mays doc on HBO Max. We'll get into more sports here. Jay, Houston, we'll get to you. We got some Warriors stuff. Bob Myers spoke to Steiny Guru yesterday, and a lot was said, and we have thoughts on that. Brian Baldinger, 7:30 to get back into the 49ers as they return to the practice field today. And Gary St. Jean to lighten everybody up at 8:30 to talk about what needs to happen for the youngsters. Can they get better by sitting on the bench? Do they need a G League stint? Or do the Warriors need to start shopping? More coming up on the Go to State Warriors here on the Morning Roast on a Wednesday. That's what's coming up, sponsored by News Nation.
Chris Cuomo is back with a new show on a new network. Catch Cuomo weeknights on News Nation at 5 and 8 p.m. Pacific. To find News Nation on your television provider, go to newsnationnow.com/join us.
What's up, everybody? I know you're out there balling for the holidays, man. You got money. You got to figure out a Christmas gift. Well, I have the perfect gift for you, and it's at 957thegameshop.com. That's right, 957thegameshop.com. You can buy a Morning Roast t-shirt, Steiny and Goo, Willard the Dibs, Damon and Rattle. You get generic 957 The Game t-shirts. Who doesn't want to wake up on Christmas morning with the 957 The Game long sleeve, a 957 The Game hoodie? Come on, folks. Spend that money. The holiday season's coming. 957thegameshop.com. Be there.
If you own a business, this has been a bumpy ride. From pandemic to inflation, I'm sure you could use a break. If your business has 5 or more employees and survived COVID, you might be eligible to receive a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. The challenge is getting your hands on it. Hi, I'm Howard Mackler, and that's why I founded GetRefunds.com to cut through the red tape and get you the money. The team of tax attorneys we have put together are highly trained in this little-known payroll tax refund program. We do all the work, charge not a dime up front, and simply share a percentage of the cash that we get for you. Businesses of all types can qualify, including those that took PPP, nonprofits, and even those that had increases in sales. We have helped return over $1 billion to businesses, and we can help you too. Just go to getrefunds.com/sports, click on Qualify Me, and answer a few questions. This payroll tax refund is only available for a limited period of time. Don't lose out on up to $26,000 per employee. Go to getrefunds.com/sports. That's getrefunds.com/sports.
With energy bills as high as they are, proper weatherproofing is essential. If you're working with a client to upgrade or build a new home, be sure to visit Golden State. They partner with respected brands such as Owens Corning, James Hardy, and Boral Siding. They're a great option for a comfortable home with lower energy bills. Start at goldenstatelumber.com. Building better in the Bay Area since 1954. Golden State. When you succeed, we succeed.
If you owe back taxes to the IRS, have unfiled returns, or are worried about an audit, the IRS is hiring 87,000 new agents to address these very issues. That means if you need to get your tax problems resolved, now is the time to get started. I'm tax attorney Robert Goldstein, and my firm specializes in helping individuals and small businesses resolve their tax problems. We work to stop IRS and state seizures. We may be able to settle your tax debt for pennies on the dollar with an offer in compromise. We prepare your past due returns, even if you have no records, and represent you before the IRS and state in an audit. At the law offices of Robert Goldstein, the consultation is always free, and we have offices located throughout the Bay Area. To schedule your free consultation, call 1-888-TAX-EXIT. That's 888-TAXEXIT. 888-TAX-EXIT, and make us your last stop.
Are you interested in new career opportunities in the Bay Area and want to make a difference in your community? The San Francisco Sheriff's Office is looking for people considering a job in law enforcement right now. If you're at least 20 years or older with a high school diploma or equivalent, the San Francisco Sheriff's Office wants to hear from you. Enjoy full benefits, flexible schedules, and opportunities for growth and promotion. For employment announcements and more information, visit sfsheriff.com. That's sfsheriff.com to apply today.
Tune in to 95.7 The Game for Warriors Live, 60 minutes before tip-off of every Warriors game. Brought to you by Xfinity. Supercharge your home with supersonic Wi-Fi. Unbeatable internet, only from Xfinity.
Attention, guys. By now, you should know that when it comes to meal enhancement pills, most of these contain the same ingredients that are repackaged over and over again. Why take the same old when you can perform in the bedroom with confidence at the highest level? That's why Noxitril needs to be on your bedstand. If you thought that the little blue pill works well, wait till you try Noxitril. It's like Viagra on steroids. Thousands of men each week have switched from that prescription blue pill to Noxitril. That's because Noxitril is automatic. No need to worry anymore. When it's time to perform, we've got this. Explosive results you can count on with no side effects, no stuffy nose. We want every man to try Noxitril, so call now and take advantage of our special free bottle offer today. Oh, and as a reminder, please use the Noxitril dose as directed. It's that strong.
Call right now and get your free supply. Call 800-486-1608. That's 800-486-1608. It's like Viagra on steroids. Improve your sex life with your free supply. Call 800-486-1608. That's 1-800-486-1608.
Hey everybody, it's Boomer Esiason here. When a part of your offense isn't firing on all cylinders, it shows. And sometimes the only solution is to replace that part with something new. It's true on a championship team, and it's also true with cars. That's why I love eBay Motors. They have all the right parts at the right prices. 122 million of them, by the way. And that way you can get the parts that you need to make your car a winner. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
At Target, Black Friday deals are happening right now. Save on the hottest gifts to get ahead this holiday, like must-have toys, the latest tech, and incredible offers to get your home holiday ready. You'll discover new Black Friday deals each week in stores and at Target.com. And make holiday shopping easier than ever using free drive-up, free order pickup, and same-day delivery. Get low prices and great deals so you can holiday your way. Only at Target. Exclusions apply.
It's JP with the Golden State Warriors. Now back to the Morning Roast with Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky.
All right, JP. We'll see you Friday night. Of course, JP's been working after the game Monday night, working yesterday, as Bob Myers mentioned, on the practice court, trying to get his game right. Look, Jordan Poole in his last 20 games, including the playoffs, 14.3 points a game, 43% from the floor, 33.9% from the three-point line. He's had some big games, but he's had some scuffles here. That's courtesy of David Tella, producer over at NBC Sports Bay Area. So we'll get to Jordan Poole. We'll get to the Warriors in just a second. There's a lot going on with them. We got Jane Houston. We got Gene in Oakland. We'll get to you guys in just a second. We did want to get to this, though. Jim Irsay the other day, Colts owner. He's a firecracker. He likes to tweet. He likes to talk. He likes to chirp. He's a mess. And so they fire Frank Reich, Shasky.
Before you go there, how old do you think Jim Irsay is?
Well, he's like in his late 50s, I think. He looks like he's 80 years old.
He's 63. He looks 85.
Yeah, he looks done. He looks shot.
The drugs and the alcohol.
Yeah, he looks shot. And he got really that team from his father.
Well, yeah.
His father moved that team from Baltimore.
He got caught with bags of pills while drinking and bags of cash in brown bags. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he's got a lot going on.
Last thing about the doc, real quick, the Willie Mays doc. Let's put a ball on it.
Yeah, my dad wants to call in at some point.
He should call in right now. He should call in for 650. Tell him to call in 650.
Yeah.
Larry Bear, Peter McGowan deserve a lot of credit. They said, we want to give Willie Mays a lifetime contract with the Giants.
Oh,
you need to be associated with the Giants.
Genius.
And I think the one thing in the Bay Area that Jed's been getting it with the 49ers, bringing all the legends back. You see the Warriors bring all the legends back. Rick Barry, Chris Mullen's affiliated with them. We're going to have Run TMC night coming up soon. Run TMC night where Bully, Mitch Richmond, and Tim Hardaway do the broadcast for Fitz and Buki.
Al Attles, I felt like was a staple of the Warriors,
for years
organization.
And to see him at ring night, get that ovation.
It was touching.
That moment almost teared me up. I'm getting older. I'm getting sappy here, but
he also looked great.
He looked awesome. But Peter McGowan and Larry Bear did a great job of bringing in Willie Mays back to the Giants. And you hear Dusty talk about him. And
how good was Dusty?
I mean, the third African-American manager to win a World Series. In a World Series that had no African-American ball players.
That's wild.
And to have the Willie Mays doc like that and hear Dusty, that's why Dusty, I think we were all happy for Dusty because it just meant a little more. And to see Dusty smile like that, to finally get that one, felt really good. But wanted to put a ball on that. Larry Bear, Peter McGowan deserve credit.
If you want to call in about the Willie Mays doc at any point, please do. Because it's so good, it touches everyone.
Everyone and everything. But Jim Irsay hired Jeff Saturday out of the ESPN Get Up NFL Today to be the interim coach.
Yeah, he was a high school coach and he was doing television. This is so odd. I think that they're trying to get Harbaugh, but continue.
So here are the highlights from Jim Irsay's presser to introduce Jeff Saturday as the interim coach of the Indianapolis Colts.
We're the fourth winningest franchise in the league since 2000. All right, that means in the upper quartile of winners, we're in the top quartile of that upper quartile. You want to bet against this guy? Put your money down, people. Love to see it. Love to see it. No, the game is not different. We don't build rockets to go to Mars. We're not nuclear scientists. That is none of our jobs here. It's a very simple jobs that we do here. I don't know how to make sausage. I don't know what goes into sausage. But I do know how to build a football team because I've been around for 52 years. There is no problem of perception, except some of you guys make a problem of perception, but you need hits, so you got to do it. I understand. I do the same thing. I was a broadcast journalism major, too.
All right, here's part two of the highlights.
Just for 1 second. This doofus, all right? You got Peyton Manning, all right? You get credit for that. And then you ruined him as well. He hurt himself, and he got destroyed. And then you get Andrew Luck. By the luck of God, you happen to get the number one pick that year. And then you ruin him.
He's got 1 Super Bowl.
That guy's a doofus.
All right,
Just keep
here's part
going.
2 of the highlights.
I don't know. You guys ever held accountable to your editors bringing you in and say, well, you wrote that stuff. It was all wrong. You're fired. But I'm not sending a fighter in the ring I love. You know, when I think that it's time and let him get pummeled. No. You know, certain people just have it. They have it. And you see it when you know it. I've never hired a losing head coach. We're the 4th winningest team in the league. It's not about belief, it's about fact. What we've done, we're better than most all. It's that simple. Our record proves it over a period of time. So you don't have to believe much when it's there in black and white.
You're in one of the worst divisions in sports, historically. Like, I mean, Bonte, the Jacksonville Jaguars, are they, like, they had moments with Keenan McCardell and Brunell.
They've been losers.
Their entirety of their existence. The Titans have been,
The
right?
Texans,
The Texans? Bill O'Brien has won that division. Bill O'Brien.
Right.
The guy that we all think is one of the dumbest people in terms of team building in the history of the NFL.
So since 95, they've lost a conference championship. They lost wild card, divisional round, wild card,
This
conference
is the
championship,
Colts.
wild card. This is the Colts.
Yeah, they lost
got a division.
and 8 times in the first time.
Wild card, divisional, conference, wild card, divisional. They've been solid. They've been one of the premier franchises.
With one of the greatest quarterbacks ever.
But let's not act like Jim Irsay is the reason for that. You got Peyton Manning. All right? You lucked into Marvin Harrison. You traded Marshall Faulk. And look, you get credit for drafting Andrew James. You do. You get credit for drafting Joseph Adai. You do.
They didn't win a championship with Andrew James.
Yeah, they didn't. They won it the year after.
Yeah.
The year after. They came close, but they won it the year after. I think they gave him a ring anyway,
Yeah.
which is
And
kind
they
of
traded away Marshall Faulk.
Traded away to get, basically picks, and they got Andrew James. So, look, they get credit for that. They've been a solid organization for the most
but
part,
that's not 'cause
despite
of
the
him.
owner. Yeah, and I know. It's not because of him.
I mean, he's an idiot. I mean, this is what happens. Just because you're wealthy or born into wealth doesn't give you emotional intelligence. It doesn't give you social awareness. Like, this is one of the things that I don't think people understand. Just because someone has tons and tons and tons of money, well, actually, you should be very well aware of it because we've got people all across, whether it's politics, whether it's sports, whether it's normal life, whether it's someone that you work for. Just because they happen to be the head in charge or they own the business or whatever, doesn't make them superior to you intellectually or emotionally.
I give him this. He put the heat on Daniel Snyder.
The rest of the owners were like, we need someone who's so dumb and so outlandish to
Go out there, Jim.
Yeah, to
Go out
show
there,
how
Jim.
bad Daniel Snyder is.
And Jim Irsay went out there. He emptied the chopper on him.
Well, his dirty laundry's already aired. Like,
Right.
Jim Irsay is like, you guys have seen everything on TMZ. I got nothing to lose. I got no skeletons in my closet.
I've got nothing to lose, and I'm not selling. So, did you see Jeff Bezos meet with Jay-Z?
3 years ago when we had Friedel on, I told him Bezos is going to get an NFL team. He wants the Washington football team
And he's
because
gonna
he
go get
owns
it.
the Washington Post. He is in Virginia. He's got everything. Like, this is a done deal. This is a slam
Right.
dunk.
But Jay-Z part of it?
Well, yeah, they want a face. They want someone who's, they want to be a part of it. And Jay-Z doesn't have enough equity himself to be the lone person in on that. He'd have to be part of the group. It makes a ton of sense. Look, we need black owners. One of the things is I'm watching the Willie Mays doc last night, and I had never thought of it this way. And it's my own ignorance. But I'm watching that doc last night, and I'm saying to myself, you know what? The cultural, I forget who the expert was, the cultural expert, he was so right. He was like, had they just absorbed a couple of the Negro League teams as whole, you would have had black owners in black stadiums that were owned by those men, and it would have been true integration as opposed to poaching, right? We look at what's going on right now. We look at what's going on right now with the Live Tour and PGA. They're poaching the best players from the PGA and going to Live. That's literally what Major League Baseball did to the Negro Leagues, right? And so, like, I had never even thought of it that way. And then when we look around sports, you're telling me, like, and I know because the amount of money you have to own one of these teams, there's only so many people in the world that have this. We don't have one person of color to own one of the major sports franchises.
We have Jordan, right? Jordan in Charlotte. We have
and Bonte,
Shad Khan
and Bonte, they
in
had
Jacksonville.
They had
minority.
To help
We got
work with
Vivek.
Jordan.
Yeah, no, we have Vivek in Sacramento who has a litany of other partners.
It's not
enough.
representative.
No,
is
it's
what
not.
I'm saying.
It's
Like
not.
when all of the athletes in some of these sports are predominantly people of color, and you don't have any equal representation up in the front offices,
Right.
nor at the executive level.
No, it's a problem.
At the ownership level, it's just disproportionate.
No, we've talked about that for years. Magic Johnson wants to get in on the Raiders. He wants to meet with Mark Davis and get in on the Raiders in Vegas. So you're starting to see it slowly but surely, and it's not going to happen right away because, as you mentioned, long money. These guys, these families have long money.
Who just got the Broncos?
Some people. I forget
Walmart
their names.
people.
The Walmart people.
Why?
Yeah.
Because the
Long
NFL
money.
wants to partner with Walmart.
Yeah, no
Why do you
doubt.
think Bezos is getting it? They want some of that
They want
Amazon money.
and they've already got Amazon with the Thursday night
Exactly.
package. So
and he's going to build a beautiful stadium with the old
And they need
RFK
one.
site.
Yeah, they need it.
Absolutely.
They need it.
But this is where it's going. They're going to corporate partners. And there's only so many people in the world that can
Right.
afford these teams.
No doubt. They're worth $5 billion now. All these teams.
I think
They're at least
Washington might
$5
get more.
They might get $8 billion.
I know.
They might get $8 billion in the nation's capital. All right, we're going to continue to roll. Jay and Gene, I promise we'll get to you on the other side here. This segment was presented by Go to State Lumber, serving the Bay Area for 3 generations. When you succeed, we succeed. Visit GoToStateLumber.com and Fremont Bank, full service banking, no compromises. We'll have some Bob Meyer sound from Steiny and Guru, and boy, did Bob say a lot, Warrior fans. Plus, we'll get into some football. Niners back on the practice field today. And Shasky, I'm feeling pretty good about them going into this week against the Chargers. Cannot wait. Football's back in the Bay. More Warriors talk and your phone calls. 888-957-9570. We'll be back on the other side.
AT&T Fiber presents a straightforward moment inspired by straightforward pricing.
And now we just cube the pancetta as such.
So what's on the menu tonight?
This carbonara I found online. It's fire. You gonna love it, Mom.
I hope you hold on to this AT&T Fiber, son. It's nice.
Yeah, you should settle down now that you're a gagillionaire.
Oh, I am. I finally found the one internet I've been looking for my whole life.
So, no more one-year stands?
No, I'm done with all that. With AT&T Fiber, there's no price increase at 12 months.
What about equipment fees?
Nope.
Those were never any good for you.
Exactly. But now everything's completely straightforward.
Well, in the spirit of being straightforward, I never liked any of your old ones.
Me neither. Blah.
Y'all never told me that.
But we're being straightforward now, which feels good, yeah?
Yeah. Now let's get straightforward about that girl he's been seeing.
Straightforward is better. No equipment fees, no data caps, no price increase at 12 months. Live like a gagillionaire with AT&T Fiber. Limited availability in select areas. Visit att.com/hypergig for details.
Hi, this is Stephanie from Safeway with great news. You can earn Safeway rewards with each purchase you make. Then use your rewards for discounts on groceries or up to 20 cents off per gallon in gas rewards at participating Chevron or Texaco stations and up to $1 off per gallon at participating Safeway fuel stations. Not a member? Register for an account with your phone number at checkout and start earning rewards today. Restrictions and exclusions apply. Learn more at Safeway.com/for-you. This is Stephanie from Safeway, and we'll see you soon.
Salute our veterans and wrap up the Bay Area hot rodding season in style at America's favorite car show. It's the Good Guys 32nd Autumn Get-Together, and it's all happening this weekend at the Alameda County Fairgrounds in Pleasanton. See over 2,500 of the Bay Area's baddest hot rods, muscle cars, and trucks of all years on display. Plus, don't miss Good Guys CPP Autocross Series racing action featuring the Fall Shootout. Our Veterans Day weekend celebrations include our Vets for Vets Parade and so much more. It's all going down this weekend at the Alameda County Fairgrounds. Get details at good-guys.com.
At Harris Ranch, we do beef, just like we've done for over 50 years. Beef that's raised locally right here in California. Tender steaks, awesome burgers, and California classics like tri-tip roast. The flavor you crave, the quality you trust time after delicious time. Come on, it's time to get out and grill. Harris Ranch, we do beef. Legendary beef, legendary quality.
Technology lets you access a personal trainer from home, like on this exercise mirror.
Less talking, more squatting.
But to keep your hybrid workforce in shape, you need more than technology.
And kick. And jump.
You need PCs powered by Intel vPro, custom configured by CDW. Hardware-based security and remote management make it easy to protect and monitor PCs from anywhere.
Wait, don't turn me off.
Intel vPro makes secure remote management possible. CDW makes it powerful. Learn more at cdw.com/vPro.
Yellowstone, television's #1 show, returns on Paramount Network.
I, John Dudley, do solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution of the state of Montana against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Featuring an all-star cast led by Academy Award winner Kevin Costner.
The invasion is over.
They will fight you dirty.
Is there any other way?
As the Dutton family fights to protect their legacy, they'll learn power has a price.
Signing this is a declaration of war.
We're already at war.
Yellowstone returns Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern for an epic 2-hour premiere event exclusively on Paramount Network.
Hi, I'm Aaron, owner of California Deluxe Windows. Ever notice? When your neighbors get new windows, there is a large black eye of broken stucco, uneven plaster, and even mismatched paint. At California Deluxe Windows, we never leave a ring around the window. Why? Because we are one of the only companies in California who custom crafts every window and door to your home's exact measurements. Almost everyone else on the radio is a distributor. They grab a window from a warehouse, break open your walls, shove it in, and patch things up. At California Deluxe Windows, we take pride in our work. Our installation technique is so precise, we do not break your stucco. Your house could be covered with potato chips, and we wouldn't crack one.
Call now, and for a limited time, you get 30% off your entire order and 24 months of interest-free financing. 800-874-3600. 800-874-3600. That's 800-874-3600. California Deluxe Windows. Windows engineered for life.
Certain terms and conditions apply. CSLB number 774518.
For all contest rules, go to 957thegame.com/rules.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you 24/7 with supplies and solutions for every industry and access to product specialists ready to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Where can you find gifts for anyone and holiday inflatables for any home? Lowe's, actually. Save big on top tool brands like your choice of a DeWalt 20-volt Max Drill Kit or Impact Driver Kit. Was $159, now $99. All backed by the Lowe's Price Promise. Plus, outdoor inflatables starting at $22.98. Check back daily for deals during Black Friday month and start saving now at Lowe's. Home to any possibility. Offer valid through 11/9 while supplies last. Terms apply. Learn more at Lowes.com/price promise.
What's worse than calling your groin your junk? Treating it like junk. Respect your pubic region with Gillette Intimate. Gentle and easy pubic hair care from America's #1 trusted men's grooming brand. Gillette, the best a man can get. Buy now at Walmart.
What's going on, Roasters? It's Brian Baldinger with the NFL Network, and you're listening to The Morning Roast with Bonte and Shasky on 95.7 The Game.
All right, Baldy coming up at 7:30. We got King of the Hill at 7 o'clock. We'll get into some 49ers there at 7:20. They'll hit the practice field later today as they get ready for the L.A. Chargers on Sunday Night Football. We'll see who's on the practice field. Will Eric Armstead play? Who's going to play for the Chargers after they beat the Falcons? Big game for them to improve to 5-3.
Just a quick aside. You know there's a turkey shortage going on right now.
I did not know that.
Yeah. You want to order your turkeys sooner rather than later.
Might be a gumbo Thanksgiving.
Oh, well,
Might
that's
just
fine.
go to gumbo route. I know there's a crab season.
Oh, don't even start me. I'm pissed. Crab got delayed. Local crab season.
Local crabs got delayed.
Dungeness local crab.
Dungeness local crab. Fidelity.
What?
We always go after. Look, I always like, hey man, we're gonna get our crabs. We're gonna get our crabs from somewhere. The local crab probably won't get it. That's unfortunate.
It sucks.
It does suck. It does suck. All right, this segment is presented by Boxer and Curse in Northern California's premier workers' compensation law firm, helping injured workers get their lives back for over 40 years. Shout out to YouTube, Twitch, and the Xfinity mobile text line. Thanks for participating. Like us on YouTube. Oh, man, we are at 14.9 subscribers. We're about to get 15,000.
Well, and if you're on there, like it. Hit the like button. What are you doing?
15,000. Wow. All right, let's start this conversation with the Warriors. Let's take some calls and let the calls lead us into some Bob Myers sound, who joined Steiny and Guru on the executive show. The executive show now moved from the morning roast to the midday show. Thank you very much, Steiny and Guru. So they get Zaza Bob Myers this year, but they did a phenomenal job with Bob. I'm not going to lie. I was a little jealous.
Did you hear that the record was broken yesterday? I noticed it yesterday.
What was the record?
Well, the combination of the longest set of questions from Guru in the history of interviews.
I'm not going to go there.
help me.
I'm not going to go there.
Larry King was impressed.
Whoa, I got to say. All right, since we're here.
I mean, I know you won the championship last year, Bob, and you drafted 2 players in PBJ, and then it was just like this long run-on sentence. Can Jordan Poole get it back? I was like, why didn't you just go right to that?
I'm Malcolm X when I need to be.
Yeah, he is.
You
I
are.
love him. I love him.
Let me say this. Since we're here.
couldn't get out of the car. I was supposed to go to Target, and I sat in the car.
I sat in front of Patelco Bank for like 20 minutes because these guys were rolling with Bob Myers, and I'm like, damn, that was us last year. Damn it, Stein.
I was very jealous.
Very jealous. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. Preface this by saying I love you too, Goo.
It was the Xfinity stretch moment of the day.
But let me say this. Friday, Guru was driving the show with Larry Krueger, and they had Monty Poole on. I'm driving
when
in.
He drives, it's just so different.
It's the best.
I love it.
Best.
I do.
It's the best. So I'm driving in the studio because it was an early game against the Pelicans, and they had Monty Poole on. And Guru went all around the world with Monty Poole for that first question and finally asked him, is that a thing that Draymond and Jordan Poole, is this still a thing? Is that a reach? That's how he ended the question. It was like 2 minutes long. And Monty was like, yeah, I'd say that's a reach. So I saw Monty in the studio. I was like, man, that opening question from Guru. And Monty just shook his head and started laughing. I'm like, only the Goo. But
he gets away with it because he's charming.
Yeah, he gets away with it.
But the highlights.
That's my favorite one.
All right.
I love the man.
Let's go to Jay
I hope
Houston.
he watches the Willie Mays doc.
Yeah, he should.
Because I know he loves baseball so much, and I'm sure his dad was a Willie Mays fan, and is a Willie Mays fan, excuse me. And so I want to hear what he thinks about
it.
Again,
I couldn't fight him back. I was trying to fight him back, and I just let the tears out.
It was incredible.
I let the tears out, dude. It was... Damn, I'll miss it. I know Willie Mays is so great. Jay in Houston, what's happening, man? You're on the roast.
What's up, man? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Man, so, I mean, it's been a whirlwind of emotions today. I mean, started off very exciting, you know, the passion Chasky was talking about with Willie Mays, what a pioneer he is. And then I just started to get depressed. And you know why I got depressed? I thought about the 22-23 Golden State Warriors, and at this point I have a moniker for them. It's called the Steph Save Us Warriors. That's all this team is. Just Steph Curry, can you save me? And I'm not one of those fans on Twitter. You know, Warriors Twitter's going crazy right now. It's like Bob Myers and Joe Lacob. This is their fault because they're the best GM-owner partnership in the last 8 years. But my thing with them is, you know, I think the 2-timeline plan, it was, you know, insightful, and it's kind of like we've never seen something like that. But I'm at the point where I think we missed out on these draft picks, you know. And with 2020, James Wiseman, there's just, I don't know. To me, best case, this guy is just Eddie Curry and, you know, Brendan Wright. They're like, it's a combo of those two players. And then Kuminga, it's like, we could have had Onyeka Okongwu or Franz Wagner. And you can't tell me those guys would not get 25 to 30 minutes on this team. Like, even Wagner, like, he's such a good player. And then, hold on, I got one more point. With those two players, it's just like, I just like, you can't tell me it's a miss when our second overall draft picks, you know, getting DNPs behind two-way Anthony Lamb, who I didn't even know existed until this year. And Onyeka Okongwu on the Hawks, statistically, he's the best defender on Giannis.
You know, I respect that, Jay, but I didn't hear anything about Okongwu from a lot of people before that 2020 draft. It was mostly Anthony Edwards, Wiseman, a little bit of Halliburton. I know people talked about Halliburton. I give people that. But nobody, to me, I didn't hear anything about Okongwu in terms of the Warriors selecting him. We knew about Okongwu, but I wasn't, there was I don't recall there being a lot of noise for Okongwu coming to the Golden State Warriors.
Okay.
From the fan base, at least.
I was listening to Steiny yesterday, and he brought up a couple of really, really, really good points that I was chewing on by myself as I was cleaning the house yesterday. And one of them was this. Let's go back in time. And I know it's tough because today we're armed with their champions.
Right.
And we need these guys to take quantum leaps and whatever. Let's go back in time. When you have an opportunity to select number 2 overall, okay? When you have that opportunity, you were thinking to yourself one of two things. Number one, I'm not sure how much longer this core has at the top. Number 2, I'm not sure how many times they're going to be in a position to draft someone with extremely high upside this high in the draft, right? So you say those two things. We all knew, for the most part, they were going to take somebody who had extremely high upside, but was probably a project, right? Now, we can all say, Wiseman is a very raw project. Right?
Look at all these guys that were projects. So I had to let you finish your point, but I have the draft pulled up here. Patrick Williams got drafted by Chicago. We thought he was a project, and was there a fit with the Golden State Warriors? Isaac Okoro out of Auburn.
Who I actually wanted.
I like Isaac Okoro. He's a good defender, but you weren't probably going to take him at number 2.
No.
Obi
he was
Toppin,
more of a guy in like the 6, 7, 8 range.
Obi Toppin, during the college basketball season, was top 3, and then it faded, right? It faded
I thought he was
bit.
flat-footed, and I didn't see the fit.
Jalen Smith, who went to Phoenix out of Maryland, he hasn't played much. Denny at Via with the Washington Wizards hasn't done much. So Okongwu was interesting, but another project, right? And so to Steidy's point, I'm with them on that. We talked a lot about Wiseman. We said, and a lot of people are saying, you know what? You take Wiseman. We talked about it a lot where everybody's like, this guy could be Chris Webber / KG / whatever. Now, it looks laughable now, but the young man's only 21 years old. I'm not here to call him a bust.
We'll see. I mean, right now, they haven't got any return on that, on that investment on a high upside guy, right? Like that's okay. Now let's get to the Kuminga draft pick, the Kuminga and Moody the following year. Okay, we were all hoping that Jalen Suggs would fall to them because we didn't know Jordan Poole would take this big quantum leap forward, right? They took Kuminga, and I still think that's the right pick. I'm with Kuminga.
Well, Kuminga was projected to be a top 5 pick in February.
Yes,
he was like at some mocks he was number 1 overall.
But Bonte, I think his style of play can translate maybe quicker than Wiseman because of some of the ball skills. When he was drafted, he was 18 years old, played minimal high school basketball, and played in the G League. And was the second or third best player on that team. Wasn't even the best player. Jalen Green was. Right? So you're talking about a guy who's, if not more raw than Wiseman, certainly as raw as Wiseman. So again, 2 high upside guys. Moody, a little farther along. He was 19 with 1 year at Arkansas.
1 year. And here's the thing about Wiseman. I want to go back to that for a second because he picked up a DNP Monday night against the Sacramento Kings, didn't play. What we saw his rookie year, a lot of people say, well, we saw it his rookie year. Well, 11.5 points per game and 6 rebounds, and I get it. He didn't know where to be. We're talking about guys who play at a championship level. It's Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, them two, because they're on that roster. Then Andrew Wiggins, we know, had the talent. But you throw James Wiseman into the starting lineup right away to play with a championship tandem in Draymond Green and Stephen Curry. And it's like, go figure it out, kid. Now, he plays his first 2 games against Brooklyn and Milwaukee. This young man staring at Kevin Durant, Kyrie, and Giannis Antetokounmpo in his first 2 games. And I thought he was getting better his rookie year. He got the COVID right after the All-Star break. Remember Steve Kerr benched him. We played the 4th quarter against the Clippers, scored 14, and then we saw him get hurt. And it was like, damn, he was starting to put together some double-doubles. He was starting to figure it out a little bit. And then you get the injuries. And this is where we're going to be at with Trey Lance next year. We just don't know about Trey Lance because he's not playing. 6 starts since the calendar flipped to 2020. And so for James Wiseman, that setback of getting hurt, having your rookie year cut short, playing only 39 games, and then you're rehabbing, setback, rehabbing, after just 3 college games, I think you got to really look at that and put it into context. So that upside that we're all looking at saying, look, this is a project, but we thought he'd be farther along. Injuries derailed everything. Screwed up the plan.
No, it's very poignant, and we don't know what he is right now. Right now, the returns have been horrible. Let's just call it what it is. Here's the other nuance that I heard a guy, Tim in Richmond, call in. I think about this stuff all day. So when I hear someone come up with a nuance that I hadn't even considered, I find it fascinating. He was talking about, it's a little unfair from some of these veterans, Steph, Draymond, and Clem, and he used them as an example. And I'm not just pinning it on them, but they'll be like, come on, these guys got to get up to speed. Think about every one of their early maturation processes in the NBA. They were playing on a horrible team.
I know.
Horrible team. They were afforded luxuries to come in and play extended minutes, and guys were moved out of the way so that they can get opportunities. Now, Draymond's a little different because he had to wait till year 3 for the David Lee injury.
And he was a second-round pick.
Exactly. But like Clay and Steph specifically, they could play through mistakes. Right. And they were given opportunities. And you moved Monte to give him more freedom and to give him opportunities to fail and succeed. And the stakes weren't as high. You know what I'm saying? For these guys playing.
No, it wasn't.
Right? Now, I'm looking at what's going on for Wiseman, Kuminga, and Moody right now, and I get it. The championship stakes and all this. Everybody needs to take a deep breath. Right? Us included. And shame on me for thinking that they should be farther along. But they're projects.
But you know what, though? as you are listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ, FM, and HG1 San Francisco, always live on the free Odyssey app. Download the Odyssey app, your favorite 95.7 The Game, for the best and most up-to-date sports coverage. And don't forget that you can also watch us every single day on our YouTube and Twitch streams. Just log on and search 95.7 The Game. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel while you are there. The thing with Wiseman, number 2 overall, because there was a LaMelo Ball talk, and there's still LaMelo Ball talk.
That's
he's an
going to
all-star.
be there for the rest of his career.
My thing with LaMelo Ball, maybe he does figure it out with the Golden State Warriors. But what happens with Jordan Poole? Maybe you move off from Jordan Poole, right? You know, there's all these little variables that I think people don't think about.
Yes.
LaMelo Ball loves the ball in his head. Kind of plays like Seth. Look, he's a flashy player. He can pass with the best of them. No doubt about that.
They can use his defense.
But LaMelo Ball does not play defense at all.
I think he's a better defender than JP. Just my particular opinion.
Maybe, but it's not marginally better.
He is not locking anyone up. I agree with that, but I'm saying like his defense.
To maybe offset some of his deficiencies on the defensive end.
Yes.
But what does it look like? What does it look like? You know what I'm saying? Do you win that championship last year with LaMelo Ball leading the way? Maybe, maybe not. I have no idea. But you know what? Teams miss picks all the time. And the Warriors missing a pick possibly on James Wiseman, it's going to suck in the short term, but that's why Bob Myers are going to play some sound in the second. The Warriors know in the back of their head, look, we got to plan that. If it doesn't work out, we will be ready to pivot.
Can I ask you a question?
What's up?
Do you remember when they lost all those games down the stretch on purpose to get in position to draft Harrison Barnes?
Yep.
Okay. Now, Harrison's okay. Did they nail that pick?
No, absolutely not.
And it showed promise at times.
It showed promise, but they moved off of him.
Right? And even, I think, even the biggest Harrison Barnes fan as a Warrior fan who's also a Harrison Barnes fan would admit he left a lot to be desired.
Yeah.
Like, I expected more.
Harrison Barnes was a disappointment.
And I don't think that's fair. Like, I'm not trying to crush him, but I like Harrison.
Sacramento King fans are saying right now, he needs to be out of the starting lineup.
Right, but and he's had a pretty fruitful career if you look at the financials.
But it's been okay.
No, but I'm saying financially.
Financially, he's been great.
It's been very fruitful. But like, you're looking at a guy, and he's going to have 15-year NBA career. I mean, if he just plays his cards right. You know what I mean? Not a malcontent. And so I look at this, and I'm like, man, he had 20 points as a 20-year-old in a playoff game that he was allowed to play like 40 minutes. Right. And we were like, sky's the limit for him. And even then, with all of these opportunities and this team ascending, he still feels it's hard, what I'm getting
It's hard to hit the picks. So, in a way, it was a bonus for the Warriors to have those 2 draft picks. But here's how I look at it. If Wiseman's a bust, Kuminga doesn't fit the system, you can move off these guys and get something to help the championship core now.
There's still assets in a sense.
There's still assets. And
I
so
don't
now,
like talking about people like
that.
No,
I don't. But,
I don't like
we know.
Yeah, but I don't like to phrase it that way because then it makes people feel like the property.
One important thing Bob Myers said with Steiny and Guru, we consider ourselves contenders.
Yes.
And so my whole theory is finish in the top 6. They'll figure it out. Finish in the top 6 because here's the thing that people are not realizing once you get into a playoff series. If you do make the playoffs, and I think the Warriors are going to make the playoffs. I'm not pivoting 11 games into the season. I'm not going to do that. You have a championship core, and in the playoffs, your rotations shrink. And as you get going in this series, first of all, there's no back-to-backs in the playoff series. So you don't have to worry about it. So now you can play Steph Curry 40 minutes in a playoff game. You have no back-to-backs. You get days off, whether it's 1 or 2. And then you start to figure out tendencies of the other team.
Yeah.
You start the game plan. Bob Myers talked about that at MIT this past summer, where he's like, look, if there's a guy in the regular season, he may light it up. But in the playoffs, the scouting reports are so in-depth.
Yeah.
And you get to play against that team at least, at a maximum of 7 times, you're going to be able to figure them out and learn tendencies.
TJ Warren. I mean, he had a monster couple of games, and then where's he been since?
Right. So that's why when
this is an example.
Yeah, that's a perfect example in the bubble. So that's why in a playoff series, I will worry less about Klay Thompson and Jordan Poole defensively because they're going to be able to figure some things out in the half court. It's a slower game. It's a slower brand of basketball. The foot speed, their foot speed might not be there. The lateral movement might not be there for Klay Thompson, but I think his IQ will be able to figure things out in a series. But it's about getting to that series. And right now, we got to figure out who can help them off this bench. So right now, the 3 youngsters are not helping them.
No.
If Wiseman's going to pick up DNPs and you're going to be open to send them to the G League, well, I got a feeling that, you know what, James Wiseman just may not fit, and you may have to move off of him, and that hurts to say.
Well, that's the reality. But I would also say that, when you lose GP2, when you lose Otto, when you lose Belly, the guys that I thought would be more of a, not a like-for-like replacement, but the guys that I thought would be more of a, I thought JaMychal Green would be better.
Yeah.
I thought Dante DiVincenzo would be better. You know, like, so, and simultaneously, I thought the youngsters would be able to give you a little more, okay?
No doubt.
And meeting in the middle. If there's like a Venn diagram, I would meet in the middle.
We all had those hopes.
Right now, the JaMychal Green signing looks very bad.
It looks bad.
All right, and we could harp on draft picks. I still believe in their futures more than I believe in JaMychal Green standing on this team. Dante DiVincenzo, too. He needs to be healthy and he needs to play better. All right? And so when I look at why is Lamb and why are Ty Jerome playing? Well, they're both 25, played multiple years in college, are a little more seasoned, have accepted their NBA landscape reality. If I'm not a glue guy, if I'm not doing all the dirty things, I will not sustain in this league. These other guys are like, I just want to prove that I belong.
Right. And the thing is, you cannot overlook the fact that Wiseman has not played much basketball.
No.
And that is killing him right now.
No.
And you know what?
It is killing him.
He may turn out not to be a good pro.
But Kuminga too, B.
Kuminga too hasn't played
and
much.
Moody too. I think Moody
matters.
They all need
Bob
to play.
Myers said it yesterday. You have to play to get better.
I know.
I ask Willie and Festus and Darrell all the time, can you get better by watching? Darrell's like, the best thing that happened to me in my career with the Miami Heat was going down to the then D-League. Yeah. I needed to play to get better.
Such a great change. I'm so glad they changed the name.
The G League sounds so much better.
From the G League. Wow, the D League sounded so bad.
Look, we'll get to the calls on the other side before Baldy, but right now we got to squeeze in the King of the Hill. Brought to you by Fasteners Tool Outlet. Why pay more at a big box store?
Sorry about that. You could edit that. My bad. Gather round, all you fanatics of sports. I was laughing. I had a skittle coming down my throat. It's time for Lord Bonte of House Hill to decree the finest 8 football teams in all the NFC. For this is King of the Hill.
Bonte, you are nobody, my dude.
On 95.7 The Game.
All right, let's speed through these rankings this week. The Niners are off. So where do they land this week in the King of the Hill rankings? What's up?
Before you go on, they have a drywall screw gun. It's a Milwaukee brand. I'm gonna cop this bad boy. Wow.
Quietly, I hear the Milwaukee brand is better than Makita brand.
I'm a Milwaukee guy now up the Russian River. Rocco switched me over.
Welcome to my world.
I'm looking at this hacksaw, only $169.
What about DeWalt? Is DeWalt still up there?
Oh, they got DeWalt up there, but I'm looking at all their deals. They got deals right now from October 24th to January 29th. Go to fastenersinc.com.
Actually, it's pronounced Milwaukee.
Hey, Milwaukee. Hey, Christmas is coming.
Yeah.
Holiday season is coming. Somebody needs a new hacksaw. Somebody needs a new drill. Buy them a gift.
Number 7.
Why pay more at a big box store? Go to Fasteners Tool Outlet. All right, number 7. New York Giants. They were off as well this week. I'm a little worried about their weaponry, but they are sitting there at 6-2.
I claim Daniel Jones this week.
Oh, boy. Who they have? They have, who are they playing? The Houston Texans?
Yeah.
He may ball out against the Texans. I may have to look into that, too, because Josh Allen's out.
Why do you think I'm here?
Josh Allen's out. I'm worried about Josh Allen. We need an update on that.
Number 6.
All right, number 6, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers saved their season in 44 seconds. Tampa Bay, Tom Brady, no timeouts. By the way, you watched that 2-minute drill or 44-second drill over?
Surgical.
What the hell were the Rams doing? Leaving the sidelines wide open, playing off of Scotty Miller 10 yards with the sidelines, no timeouts. All right, number 6, that was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 5. The San Francisco 49ers bye week. They're sitting prime to make a run at 4-4. Can't wait to talk to Baldy about the 49ers. McCaffrey had a bye week to get more into the playbook. Debo hopefully will play this week against the Chargers. And, of course, Eric Armstead. They got reinforcements coming back. Niners at number 5.
Number 4.
Seattle Seahawks.
The Hawks?
They're playing in Munich, Germany this week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Geno Smith, dare I say Rich Gannon-like?
You know, I lost a fantasy game this week to drop the 7-2-1 league because I played Justin Herbert over Geno Smith. I don't know why I did that. Geno is balling.
Herbert, fantasy dud of the year, by the way.
That's why I had
Can we
Geno.
start to say this? Have we overrated him a little?
Week 2, I heard Mike Tannenbaum, and I heard a lot of people on the airways here at the Bay Area media say they would rather have Herbert over Mahomes.
Number 3.
Back up the truck.
Number 3.
All right, Minnesota Vikings. You got to give them credit, man. One loss. They got Kirk Cousins out there on a plane in chains, wearing ice. They play the Buffalo Bills this week in Buffalo. Big game for them. They pick up T.J. Hawkinson. They got Adam Thielen rolling.
I swooped up Justin Jefferson in Madden. By the way, number 2.
Number 2. Dallas Cowboys.
I hate
Micah Parsons going at my boy Mark Gunnels yesterday because Mark Gunnels said OBJ was talking and Micah Parsons said, defense wins championships. Come put that star in your helmet.
Oh.
And then my boy Mark Gunnels is a Kansas City Chiefs fan. He's like, OBJ, come play with Mahomes, Kelsey, this and that.
They got enough
blah,
weapons.
blah, blah.
I hate both those
And then
teams.
Micah Parsons is like, please, son. And he posted a gif of the Cincinnati Bengals beating Kansas City in the NFC Championship. Anyway, Cowboys in the hunt for Odell
Twitter
Beckham
update.
Jr.
All right.
Number 1.
Number 1.
Number 1. Philadelphia Eagles are undefeated.
Wow, the Niners aren't even in your top 7.
No, they are. Number 5.
Oh, they're 5.
Number 5. They're
Totally
right there.
not paying attention.
Yeah, I know, right? We're all ADD'd out. King of the Hill, brought to you by Fasteners Tool Outlet. Why pay more at a big box store? Look, we'll take the calls on the Go to Say Warriors, Gene. I promise. We're getting to you first here on the other side. We'll squeeze you guys in right before Baldy. Then we'll pivot to the 49ers at 7:25 before Baldy breaks it down with us here on the Morning Roast. That will be brought to you by Fremont Bank, full service banking, no compromises.
I know you love sports, and I know you love 95.7 The Game. So let the Yay area know that you roast with us at 95.7 The Game by shopping and getting some of our sweet tees and sweatshirts. Go check it out on 957thegameshop.com. Wow, what a great read. What's the best way to deal with triple-digit and below freezing temperatures, Bonte? You want to keep those temps outside. And Golden State Window and Door understands the vast range of temperatures, all the microclimates, across the Bay Area. Thankfully, they've got technology and style that's ever-changing when it comes to windows, doors, and home siding. With assistance from Golden State Window and Door, you or your contracted clients can live comfortably all year round. You'll find modern options like Marvin's Ultimate Sliding French Door. Ooh, I need that up at the cabin, which offers space-saving sliding design and a design for years of energy-efficient performance. Anderson's A-Series windows offer a wide range of popular designs and are the highest-performing weather-type products Anderson has ever offered. I mean, gosh, we're raining like crazy. You got to get those bad boys. Get inspired by the many possibilities when you visit GoldenStateLumber.com and click on virtual tours. Then talk with your builder or designer to see what might be a good fit for your home. Serving the Bay Area for 3 generations. Golden State, when you succeed, we succeed.
Everything, our farm, our stand, our pop-up shop, it really all started when we discovered the benefits of local, raw honey for our family.
And then we decided to turn it into a business.
We were looking for something to help us get up and running.
So we got the Chase Business Complete Banking Account.
It's more than a bank account. It comes with Quick Accept, which lets us take card payments anytime, anywhere in the U.S. using the Chase mobile app. Plus, we get same-day deposits at no extra cost. For us, it's more than honey. It's about sharing a little sweetness with the world.
Get the Chase Business Complete Banking Account with the essentials you need to help get your business going. Learn more at chase.com/business-complete-banking. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Quick Accept is not available in U.S. territories. Enrollment required. Usage subject to approval. Same-day deposits available for payments before 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday to Friday. Fees and rates apply for checking and processing. Limitations and restrictions apply. Participants compensated. Merchant services provided by Payment Tech LLC and WePay Inc. Subsidiaries of J.P. Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
Does your heart long to wander? To encounter colorful creatures from the deep blue sea? And amazing animals from the Amazon and beyond? Feed your wild heart. Travel the world right here in San Francisco. Make your reservation to the California Academy of Sciences at calacademy.org. See rare specimens, ancient fossils, and more at our new exhibit, Hidden Wonders.
Hi, welcome to the IKEA Holiday Prep event, here to help you host the season with offers, in-store workshops, and more.
Oh, great. I may have invited the whole neighborhood for the holidays.
Don't worry, you can do this. To start, IKEA family members save 20% on Venturfent Christmas tree decor and gift wrap.
You are my hero.
Visit us in-store or at IKEA-USA.com/holiday prep to get ready and save. Offer valid 11/9 to 11/23/22. U.S. only while supplies last. Selection may vary by store and online. Restrictions apply.
Someday, you might be with friends in the Bay Area, telling the story of how you navigated these complex times. The market was all over the place, so you reached out to a Merrill advisor, and with their help, charged ahead. And unlike your fishing stories, you won't have to go overboard. Find an advisor at ml.com/bullish.
Merrill, a Bank of America company. What would you like the power to do?
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, registered broker-dealer, registered investment advisor, member SIPC, a wholly owned subsidiary of Bank of America Corp.
America's favorite car show makes its final Bay Area stop of the year with a jam-packed weekend of hot rod and fun the whole family will love. It's the Good Guys 32nd Autumn Get-Together, and it's all going down this weekend at the Alameda County Fairgrounds in Pleasanton. See over 2,500 of the West Coast's coolest hot rods, muscle cars, and trick trucks of all years. Plus, shop the huge swap meet and vendor exhibit. Check out the Smash for Cash Demolition Derby. Experience a tire smoke and burnout competition, Nitro Thunderfest, and so much more. It's all this weekend at the Alameda County Fairgrounds. Get details at good-guys.com.
California, you deserve more. And with United Healthcare, you'll get more. Annual enrollment is October 15th through December 7th. So call United Healthcare today. With the United Healthcare Medicare Advantage Plan, you get more from your Medicare dollar, now including better than ever dental, vision, over-the-counter, and prescription drug coverage. Call United Healthcare at 1-888-CALL-UHC today and speak with a licensed sales agent. Benefits, features, and/or devices vary by plan and area. Limitations and exclusions apply.
Thank you for calling Navy Federal Credit Union. How can I help you?
Hi, if I'm in the Army, not in the Navy, am I still eligible for membership?
Yes, you are.
What about my sister in the Air Force?
Her too.
And my dad's a Marine.
We serve all branches of the military, veterans, and their families.
My dog is a retired military working dog.
I'll see what I can do.
Find out if you're eligible at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Insured by NCUA.
Kelley Blue Book is the one-stop shop for pricing, fixing, selling, and instant cash offering. Instant Cash Offer is exactly what it sounds like. An official offer to buy or trade your car. Just enter your VIN or license plate, answer a few questions about your car's history, and what kind of condition it's in. In minutes, you'll receive an offer to sell or trade your car that you can be sure is fair. Then choose a dealer to purchase your car and schedule a time to meet. For all of the its, KBB.com.
Now, back to the Morning Roast with Bonte and Shasky.
Welcome back. Baldy coming up in 12 minutes. 12 minutes here in the Morning Roast. Don't forget to download the Odyssey app. 95.7 The Game. Thousands of other stations and millions of podcasts are free on the Odyssey app. Sports Talk, music, news, and podcasts, all available completely free. You can catch every Warriors game live on the app, along with all the music and news the Bay Area needs. Follow your favorite team, stations, radio shows, podcasts now by downloading the free Odyssey app. Again, Baldy 730. Don't forget, 957thegameshop.com.
Are the Warriors under pressure?
A little bit. I know a lot of people freaking out. But I'm intrigued, man. I like the journey. Like, think about what we just went through with the Niners. Think about what we...
One second. Who's the name of that band?
Boom, 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 boom. I'm going to go with...
Under Pressure.
Vanilla Ice sampled it.
I remember that. Ice, Ice Baby. I was going to say Ice, Ice Baby. I would say... Not Red Hot Chili Peppers, because that's always my go-to. I would say... No Doubt.
Spadoni, I'm going to allow you to have this one.
It's Queen and David Bowie.
Queen and David Bowie.
Okay, can you name one Queen song?
Probably not.
We Are the Champions? It's like
oh, yeah, we talked about this.
Come on.
We are the champions of the world. Yeah, they got another classic, right?
Fat Bottom Girl.
They got another classic. They got several classics.
Bicycle.
Can you play Fat Bottom
Bohemian
Girl
Rhapsody.
Bohemian Rhapsody is probably their most
Another
famous.
one Bites the Dust.
Is that
Another one
them?
Bites the Dust.
Queen and Bowie? I knew that was them.
No, well, not Bowie. Queen does all those other
Queen,
ones.
okay,
Bowie's
sorry.
on that one.
All right, well, another one Bites the Dust.
David Bowie's, his musical range
Are you
is
serious?
very vast.
That's David Bowie?
Yeah.
That's Queen, I mean? Another one Bites the Dust?
You don't even know how to do this. Do you think Queen is one person or a band? I'm just curious here.
They're a band, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they're a band. I got that one.
Freddie Mercury.
Freddie Mercury. They had the movie a few years ago,
Yes.
right? I need to watch that movie.
Yes.
I need to watch the movie.
Yes.
But another one Bites the Dust, underrated beat. boom.
Oh, it's ridiculous. They have nothing but hitters.
Another one bites the dust.
Their double disc
And another one.
greatest hits, I say, is one of the great. There's the Beatles, that used to be Michael Jackson, you can go Jackson 5, Motown greatest. That's one of the greats.
You know what? I promise all the roasters out there. Today, instead of watching, and shout out to Pete Franco, Gianna's lovely husband.
Oh, yeah.
He's saying this Queen, dude. Come on, man. Wake up.
Thank you, Pete.
Listen, I will stay away from NBA League Pass tonight. Even though it's a stacked schedule, right? Stacked schedule to association, as Dan Dibley likes to say. And the Cavaliers, who are they playing? Because I do want to scout them. They're playing the Sacramento Kings, 7 o'clock. I will stay away from League Pass and watch the movie with Queen.
I wouldn't even want you to do that. In your car, I just want you to either Apple Music or Spotify their greatest hits, and you'll realize how many amazing hitters they have. It's like when you hear Steve Miller Band, right? People don't realize, wow, Steve Miller has so many hits that I know, even if I don't know who they are.
Man, Queen, damn. Another one bites the dust. I gotta watch that movie.
I love how it's it all came.
Dude,
I just told you that Babe Ruth played for the Yankees.
I know,
it's it all came together
it all
for you.
came together. I didn't know that was them.
You know the 13th man on the Cavs, but you don't know Queen's catalog.
Yeah, see this beat. Come on,
it's
man.
One of the all times.
This is unbelievable. This gets me going. This puts a smile on my face. This gets me rolling. Look at London, man. He's banging. He's over in Miami getting stomped by Florida State. I mean, come on.
Another one bites the dust. And another one gone, and another one gone.
Dude.
Another one bites the dust.
I swear.
Hey.
So, look, if I wasn't a sports broadcaster doing this, I wanted to either be a photographer or I just wanted to be a manager of some musician just so I could be in the studio when they make these classics.
Okay.
It's nothing like being in the studio.
So you want to be Jerry Heller?
Yeah, I just want to be there with my legs crossed. Jerry Heller. I want to be like this with my legs crossed.
The NWA guy.
Sitting there like this. Yeah, buddy, I think we got one. We got one.
So you'd be a snitching band manager.
I don't know if I wouldn't be a snitch.
You would be the guy that embezzles everyone's money and invests in horrible restaurants and makes them lose everything.
No. I would be the greatest manager of all time. Just get me into the concert.
You'd be Ari Gold-esque for Vinny Chase.
Dude. Okay. Entourage. We're not even going to get it. Let's get into the Warriors because I would go sidetracked on Entourage.
Let's get to Gene,
Johnny
George,
Drama
and Linda.
might be the greatest character of all time.
Although Entourage the last 2-3 seasons.
It was horrible. Aquaman, Medellin, horrible. It went way right.
It went way right.
You know what the problem was? They overrated Turtle. There's no way Turtle is landing some of the chicks that he's landing.
Oh, my
or
God.
E.
And the girl moved to Australia on him?
It's all
come on.
BS.
Yeah, it's all bad.
Yeah.
Gene, what's happening?
What's
Gene
up,
in
Gene?
Oakland, what's going on?
Hey, guys. Taking me 3 days to get through to you guys.
I mean, the lines have been packed, Gene. Lines have been packed, Gene.
I mean, you guys, what's that? All right. I mean, hey, I'm happy for your success anyways. So let me get to my thoughts on the Warriors.
Yes,
so,
yes.
All right. So, you know what? I'm not panicked. How can you be after 11 games? But I'm concerned, like everyone else. They got some problems they got to address, but they'd also have, as the previous caller said, they got the best coach, one of the best coaches of all time, and Bob Meyer is one of the best executives to figure it out. So I trust that they will figure it out. But unfortunately, I'm seeing what I feared would happen when they drafted Wiseman, when they drafted Kuminga. I just thought these fellas, for all their great athletic ability, were just too young, too raw, too inexperienced. They were 2 to 3 year projects, and I thought it was all about the here and now.
Yeah.
The core is getting old, as we all know. I don't know how much more time we have. I mean, last year was kind of an aberration, a bit of a miracle. But now reality is biting. I mean, we see that these kids are just really not ready.
Gene.
What?
Willie Mays. I know you watched him. What did you? I don't know. You don't think you've seen the doc yet, but can you just give me something about Willie Mays? Because I'm sure you saw him play.
Well, I think I told you before, he was my favorite player growing up. I mean, I grew up in Boston, but I always loved Willie.
Really?
I mean, I mean, I remember the catch off of Vic Wirtz, who later played for my Red Sox.
Wow.
And once I saw that, I fell in love with the guy. So, I mean, I wake up every day hoping he's still around. That's one of my thoughts, my daily thoughts.
It's my dad's favorite player as well, and I only know about the tales. He might as well be Paul Bunyan to me because
that's who he is to me.
I sent a 10-hour doc. There was this doc. It was cut into 2 parts on YouTube, and it was about the San Francisco Giants and their history, going all the way back to New York up until now. I don't think Lubman even... Lubman claims to be a Giants fan. I sent it to him, and I'm sure he didn't watch it. But that's where I learned a lot of different nuance of actual highlights that you can't see, because a lot of the Major League stuff wasn't on YouTube for a long time until they dumped it all out there.
Doubt.
And so, like, we don't see a lot of it. Like, all the Barry Bonds stuff, I lived through it. Steph Curry highlights, you see 50 million of them a quarter.
But Willie Mays,
you didn't see it.
This is all, like, a lot of footage yesterday on the HBO doc that I saw on HBO Max with Willie Mays. I was just like, wow, I never saw this footage.
Right.
Him in the Minnesota minor league uniforms.
Come on, bro.
I want that minor league jersey now.
How about the Barons?
I know.
When he's out there making plays at 16 years old.
Making plays at 16 years old against impact houses. And they were like, can you do that every day? His dad's like, can you do that every day? He's like, oh, yeah, I'll play. Well, I'm going to do it again. Real quick, let's go to Linda and Shay before we get to Baldy. Linda on 880. What's happening, Linda? Good morning.
Good morning, fellas. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
You too.
I was wondering, we have been talking a lot on the radio lately about defense and how there doesn't seem to be the defense. And they're really struggling with their defense. I believe it was probably the season of 2015 when Ron Adams joined the Warriors and their defense really picked up and people started to note them as an up-and-coming, stronger defensive team. Someone on the radio the other morning said Steve Kerr's job wasn't to develop players and defensive skills in players. Is Ron Adams still working with the Warriors in that capacity?
Yeah, he's still a consultant.
We're 70, but...
Yeah, he's still a consultant, Linda. Thanks for the call. He's still a consultant, but Chris DeMarco and Kenny Atkinson have picked up the defensive duties after Mike Brown departed. So Ron Adams has taken a step back, but he's always at the games. He's always charting in the tunnel. He's always looking at the plus minuses and the trends and the little 4-minute burst, 5-minute burst of what's going on. So he's still part of the organization. But look, you got a lot of youngsters who don't know where to be on the floor. It's a high-level system. You're playing with high-level players. You know, that's the thing. You're trying to integrate these young players who haven't played a lot of basketball over the last 3 years with championship players.
Yeah, and I'll stop you there because you're 100% right, B. Think about when they did start to win. She's talking about when Ron Adams came in 2015. Sean Livingston was 11 years into his career. I watched him actually when you guys had him on pregame. And he was talking about where he was as a human at that point in his life. Iguodala had been the main guy on 2 different franchises and came here. Obviously, some of the core was younger in their careers, but 3 years at Davidson, 4 years at Michigan State. I believe 3 at Washington State for Klay Thompson. These were more seasoned guys that had had time in the gyms and reps and had those college opportunities to learn about how important defense is. And then it was an emphasis when Mark Jackson came over before Steve Kerr was even here. So just the nucleus of that team, that's 7 or 8 guys dedicated to understanding that if you're not stopping the ball, you're going to get cooked in this league.
No doubt. Let's go to Shay in Oakland real quick before Baldy. Then we'll get to KC and Moran on the other side of Baldy. Shay, what's happening? You're on the roast.
Top of the morning, guys.
Top of the morning.
So, the first thing I got a plug for the free NBA League Pass. It's a device on Walmart online called the Superbox S3 Pro. You get that. It's a one-time thing. You'll buy it. It's about $300. Plug it up, Wi-Fi.
Shay.
League Pass. You get the NFL package.
Shay, you get pay-per-views, right?
You get every pay-per-view.
That's right.
Are you going to get me in trouble?
No, they sell it on Walmart.
Yeah, the Superbox. I've been hearing about the Superbox for quite some time.
Really?
And is it delayed? Is it live? How's the? Are we able to get every channel?
I believe it's a playback. Like honestly, my games are about like 2 minutes. 2 minutes, like
so it's
away
like
from
game
live, away from what the live coverage is showing.
Okay, 2 minutes delay.
No.
Not the worst thing, but what you got on Warriors bench real quick before we get to Baldy?
Second, I got the bench wouldn't look as bad. Jermichael wouldn't look as bad. Jermichael would actually be looking good if Poole was at least giving us his average. If Klay was at least giving us his average, at least, because these dudes, when Poole is on, Poole is a creator. He's spacing the floor. He, like, that dude brings, I don't think our bench would look as bad. I don't think Moody and Wise would be getting all this heat if Poole was at least giving us his average and a sprinkle a 26 gamer in there, a 30-point gamer in there. Like, they killing us right now, man.
No doubt.
And
no doubt.
And Klay needs to be quiet, man. Just Klay, go back to being cold hard, killer cold-blooded Klay Thompson. I don't want to hear Klay talking about all the individual stuff, about winning streaks and stuff. You know,
Klay is, hey, Shay, Klay is soul-searching. You saw the video the other day. He drove by Oracle Arena. He is soul-searching. Psychologically, he is soul-searching. We'll play some sound from Jama Malalea, who joined Willard and Dibbs yesterday about Klay Thompson. In a way, I find it endearing that this guy's showing us his vulnerability and just trying to be back to the player he once was. Yeah. We all believe. I think what gets lost in the dialogue between us, Shasky, is that we both kind of agree that he's not going to be the same guy.
Uh-huh.
But how worse is he going to be this year than, say, last year? Is it already starting to tick up? Father Time, that is, or with the lateral foot. We'll play
instead
that
of the worst thing, I would just say I'm not sure what he's bringing to the table consistently on a night-to-night basis, and I think that's the part that's a little troubling, and for him and for all of us.
But I do find it endearing that an athlete's like, "Yo, I'm soul searching. Let me try by Oracle." This guy's, if anything, the guy loves the game.
Well, that's obvious.
The guy loves the game.
Endearing is one aspect. I was going to go in the other direction and say, that kind of concerns me a little.
Well, I wonder if Baldy drove around Texas Stadium one day after going against Reggie White in Philadelphia, or he's going against Charles Mann and Dexter Manley with Washington, and he's soul searching at RFK Stadium. Let's get the Baldy here on the Morning Roast.
He breaks down plays better than anyone.
I mean, this is like Shark Week now. And you know what Baker Mayfield is? He's chum. Look at these sharks. You think you're getting away from those 4 angry sharks? It's Shark Week. It's time to eat. Make the read urgency. That's the name of the game right here. Urgency. Now, on it. He's on it. Touchdown. Beautiful throw.
He's our 95.7 The Game NFL insider, Brian Baldinger.
Usually we get him on every Tuesday, 7:30, but Brian Baldinger, we moved him with the Warrior game on Monday night. Brian Baldinger, the best in the business when it comes to breaking down the film at Baldy NFL. He was down in the ATL last Sunday. The ATL watching the Chargers and the Falcons, and Austin Eckler is going to be a problem. We'll get to him in just a second. But Baldy was a three-sport star. I found out about this a few years ago, right? We all know Baldy could hoop. He could get into concerts for free. He could play baseball. So the Willie Mays doc released yesterday on HBO Max, and we were discussing this, Baldy, early on. Obviously a legend in New York City, a legend with the San Francisco Giants. What are your memories of Willie Mays? What did you know about Willie Mays growing up? What do you know about the Say Hey Kid?
Well, I got to meet Willie Mays at a Yankees Old Timers Day with Larry Doby.
Wow.
I was with Larry Doby Jr., my best friend, and his dad was playing in the game.
Wow.
And so I'll never forget this. There's a scene. So it's a hot day in July. You know, the Old Timers are playing 2 innings. Mickey Mantle's out there. I mean, it's the who's who, right?
Oh, my God.
So anyways, they wouldn't let any press into the clubhouse after the game. So, except for family. So, Larry Doby Jr. is like, I'm going to go see my dad. So, I mean, I grew up with Larry Doby, drinking Lowenbrows in the basement, watching Yankee games. So, Junior didn't drink, but his dad did, so I'd drink beers with his dad, talk baseball. So, anyways, we walk into the clubhouse, and there's Larry Doby Sr., and there's Willie Mays. And so, Willie, so anyways, like, it's like vaudeville, like, Willie saying to Larry, like, Larry, you got that, what did he say? He said, he was combing his hair, after the showering and everything. He's like, you got that flyaway look. Like, what do you mean flyaway? You go, yeah, your hair is just flying away. Just vaudeville, right? So, anyways, that's when Willie said, I meet him, shake his hand. Hello, Mr. Mays, blah, blah, blah. He goes, hey, you like to drink beer? I go, yeah, I've been known to drink some beers. He goes, we got Coors Light, we got bottles, we got cans, we got draft. He goes, well, make a deal. Like, you sign these baseballs that I have here because I got a tea time to make, and we'll let you drink all the beer you want. I signed 100 baseballs for Willie Mays. Wow. My first baseball game I ever went to as a kid, though, I was from Pittsburgh, Pirates and Giants. You got Roberto Clemente in right field. You got Willie Mays in center field.
Come on.
Steve Blass against Juan Marichal.
Wow.
Like, I know you guys are baseball fans, but I mean,
that's incredible.
It was like going to an All-Star game.
Yes.
Wow. It's like an All-Star game. Al Oliver's there, like maybe the best hitter in baseball. Like, I get an autograph from Al Oliver. I'm a 9-year-old kid. I'm with my cousins. And there's Willie Mays, Say Hey Kid, center field, basket catch. Like, everything that you saw, read about, flip baseball cards for, I saw on that day at Three Rivers Stadium.
That's incredible.
It's just, you're the most interesting man in sports. Like,
You
I mean
are.
this, Baldy. Like, I reference anything and you know exactly. Like, you just, I'm
It's
just blown
unbelievable,
away with
Baldy.
you.
You are blown. You blew me away Sunday in ATL because you said it next to Brandon Staley, who's coming into Levi Stadium, and the Chargers. I gotta say, man, you and Baldy. Ever since you said it, Shasky and I picked up on it. The Falcons do play hard,
really hard.
We don't know any of these guys on defense other than Grady Jarrett, and they're flying around hitting. And that was a physical football game. You got the Chargers with their depleted wide receiver core. With all these injuries, they find a way to steal a game because Justin Herbert and Austin Eckler and Khalil Mack just make enough plays. And that's why I can't overlook them this Sunday at Levi Stadium. They're just as desperate. They're 5-3. They feel like, hey, we could win this game on Sunday night. We're right there with the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC West.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, Justin Herbert he's their max protection. He's their run game. You know, like everything is short passes, like third down conversions, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1. Here's DeAndre Carter. Here's Gerald Everett. You name it. Like, it's just pinpoint passing, short pass. Like, he's a hard guy to get to the ground. He's the least sacked quarterback in the league right now. And Austin Eckler, look, since the start of the 2021 season, he has scored 30 touchdowns. Nobody's close. Cooper Kupp's got 22. Nobody's close to Austin Eckler. Now, it doesn't matter how he scores. From the 1 yard line, from the 4 yard line, screen game. Like, the guy is a touchdown scoring machine. Like, I don't care. You can game plan him all you want. The guy runs through contact. Like, they've got, Khalil Mack's play, on Drake London. I don't know why Drake London's got the ball in his right hand. He just came and just, stole his lunch money.
Right.
And so, like, they've got players. Derwin can make anything happen. You can't overlook them. But they are a flawed team. Mm-hmm. They don't stop the run well. They don't run the ball well. Like, they're flawed. Like, the 49ers are a better team. Doesn't mean that they're going to win the game. You have to go earn it.
Yeah. We're about halfway through the year right now with the 49ers. As you've kind of watched this team with a fine-tooth comb, who's a player that you think has really popped that you didn't expect to pop this year on either side of the ball?
Well, I think Aaron Banks is having a really good season. I didn't know what to think. He didn't play last year, a couple snaps. Second-round pick. Notre Dame. Notre Dame puts a lot of offensive linemen in the league, but you don't know. It's a different system than Notre Dame. It's a run-based system. It's zone blocking. I think Aaron Banks has been really good this year. He's got a new center in there. Trent's been in and out of the lineup. It's never easy as you're trying to figure your way through, the first 8 games. But I think Aaron Banks has been really good. I mean, I'm not saying he's the best left guard in football, but they lost to Lincoln Tomlinson, who started 85 straight games. Weren't going to pay him what the Jets paid him. And so he's got to step up. I think he's done that.
Okay, so let's go in the opposite direction. Is there a position group or a player that you think needs to absolutely step it up and has been slightly disappointing through the first half of the season?
No, I can't really say there's one guy like that on defense. But I would say that, the surprise on defense is Ofanga. And, just the aggressiveness and his ball skills are real. Like, he's going to end up with 6 interceptions, maybe 7. He's going to be at the top of the leaderboard when the season's over, just because of how quick his eyes are and how he anticipates things. And as you see, like, you guys got a chance to watch football all week, right?
Right.
Over the weekend. So you're sitting there and you're watching Aaron Rodgers getting intercepted in the goal line. Like, I swear, I track this stuff, but every ball that gets tipped in the middle of the field has a chance to be intercepted. Like, that's how you get your interceptions. It's not like these great plays on the ball, down the field. It's tipped balls are balls that get intercepted. Deflected balls by defensive linemen over the middle of the field, on the outside. Deflections. I remember when Seattle, years ago when they had the Legion of Boom, they led the league in interceptions. I went back and watched them. They had 20-something interceptions that year. More than half of them were off tip balls.
Wow.
So, to me, that's why you got to always be flying to the ball. You've got to play with awareness because that's where your takeaways come from.
Brian Baldinger here on the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game. We talk to him every single week, breaking down the NFL and breaking down the 49ers tip ball. Shasky, the interception we all would love to forget about was a tip ball by Malcolm Smith or Richard Sherman and Malcolm Smith in the NFC Championship game. That's a great insight, Baldy, man. That's why you're the best in the business. You talk about the Chargers having a flawed run game, and they don't run the ball as well. The Eckler Fred Warner matchup is going to be must-see TV. But Christian McCaffrey against that defense here and what he adds to the 49ers, it feels like Baldy, they found something against the LA Rams to where this offense is going to be primed to take off. With the week off, Debo hopefully back, it feels like this offense is in a prime position to start humming, Baldy, moving forward.
They should. I mean, they should be fully healthy. They should be ready for the second half. We should see a full complement of skilled players, for counting McCaffrey, obviously, but for the first time, where you get Debo and you get McCaffrey and you get, George and you get all this stuff. Ayuk has had a great season, but you get all this. Sometimes you just go, is it too much? Because you just need to keep moving the ball and hit your big plays, right? So do you try to call too many different type of plays? I was watching the Jets come off the goal line last week. They ran the exact same play 3 plays in a row with James Robinson. 7 yards, 9 yards, 17 yards. The exact same play. Sometimes you just double up because it's working. And then sometimes you double up a play because it should work. And so then you go, okay, well, we got all these weapons. That's the word, weapons. Mm-hmm. Well, all right, let's just get to the open guy, whoever that is. Let's get the ball to the open guy. Let's keep the drive alive. Let's hit the big plays. So it should be fun. I expect them to go on a run here. I hope to be doing the Miami-San Francisco game in a couple of weeks out there. I'm sort of thinking, if all these two teams stay on a schedule, maybe you just keep playing all the way to February with these two teams.
Wow.
That would be a dream, right? And prelude to Super Bowl. But I feel like they should be ready to go on a run right here. This team is too stacked not to.
And Baldy, you mentioned how you can have too many weapons. I think about the Kansas City Chiefs. They have a plethora of weapons, and Andy Reid figures out how to get the ball to all these weapons. With that said, and the Niners having all these weapons, would Odell Beckham Jr. be a good fit? Because now the rumors are starting to swirl about OBJ being available for whether it's the Cowboys, the Bills, the Chiefs, or maybe even the 49ers. Would that be a good fit in this offense?
It could be, but do they need another wide receiver? Honestly, if Debo and Ayuk and Jennings are healthy, do you need another one? And with McCaffrey, what he can do, do you need another one? From the depth standpoint, if somebody goes down, you'd love to have it. That's what happened to the Rams last year. They signed OBJ, and 2 days later, James, Woods goes down with an injury. Robert Woods. So, it was fortuitous, but who knew that at the time? So from the depth standpoint, you'd love to have him. And he would probably love to play, in San Francisco with the team that's contending. But I don't know what his health is. He got hurt in Super Bowl Sunday. It's 8 months. 9 months. I don't know when he's they could clear him, but it doesn't mean he's ready to play.
Right.
That he can have the explosion, the ability to cut. I don't know about any of that stuff yet. And I don't think he knows until he goes out there and, is going to go work out for somebody or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at the offense and opening things up for other players. And this is kind of maybe a tougher question, but who's going to help who more on the field in terms of allowing spacing to happen? Is it Debo helping McCaffrey, or is it McCaffrey maybe helping Debo as a pass catcher?
I think it's going to be McCaffrey. I think that's where it starts. His ability just to slash, it's one thing. There's a lot of different ways to run a football. But the one thing about McCaffrey is he doesn't miss. He doesn't miss the hole. Some guys dance, waiting for the hole to open. This guy doesn't miss. He sees it, and that's his strength. He sees the hole before it happens. That's why he gets through it so fast. It's just like Wayne Gretzky seeing the goal before he takes the shot. He already sees it. And so he's always, his vision, there's just a couple backs like this in the league that can play that fast without stuttering their feet, without slowing down, he just sees it. And I think as they feed him from that position, I think it's going to open up a lot of things.
Okay, wait, Shasky. Sunday
I'm
night
so
football.
happy they got him.
Yeah, we all are happy. We're throwing a party out here.
I'm waiting for this, but I am waiting for this formation, though.
What's that?
I'm waiting to have Garoppolo, in shotgun and have Debo on one side and McCaffrey on the other. I expect that. I expect to see that formation
Baldy,
and
I've been waiting.
to see what they do out of it. Like I don't, maybe McCaffrey throws another pass. Who knows? But I'm expecting to see that formation and how teams balance up to it.
Didn't it feel like, I know it's only one like full game, but didn't it feel like it allowed a comfortability for Jimmy Garoppolo that maybe wasn't there prior to be able to check the ball down to McCaffrey? And it just, I don't know, I felt, I'm not trying to read too much into one game, but it just felt like a different version of Jimmy G, just having that safety net underneath who can make a 3-yard pass and turn it into a first down.
Well, okay, Joe, you watch every game. I mean, when was the last time a running back, pick a running back over the last 5 years, but when was the last time a running back went out to be a safety valve and then instinctively went to the end zone and Jimmy threw it to him?
Never.
And when was the last time you saw a running back like contort his body
and high point it
to go catch a touchdown pass?
Wow. Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I haven't seen anybody do that.
No.
I haven't seen Mostert do that or Wilson or like Hasty. I haven't seen any of those guys do it.
Yeah.
I mean, go through the list of backs that have run the ball for the 49ers. I haven't seen anybody do that, and that's just an instinctive play.
Yeah.
So, to your point, Joe, like, he hasn't had that kind of a guy that just has those type of instincts. And then to put the ball where he put it, which was really the only safe place to put it, and kind of knowing that McCaffrey is going to go up and get it.
Unbelievable play there. And, of course, Jimmy Garoppolo throws it there to make it 31-24 or 31-14. Ross Dwelly, perfect pass to George Kittle at the back of the end zone. We're talking to Brian Baldinger here in the morning. Roast, a couple more for you, Baldy. As you mentioned, we got to sit back and watch football this week. It's just a neutral fan. Just enjoy the game, enjoy Red Zone, and you're watching the Bills and the Jets. You're watching Sauce. You're watching the Falcons Chargers. You're watching all these games. And then Seattle and Arizona comes on our Tuesday in the afternoon. And I'm saying, okay, Seattle, who are they? Who are they? Well, that rivalry isn't dead anymore. And that Thursday night game coming up in a couple months. Kenneth Walker the third is
legitimate.
He's changed that offense. And who's this Woolen guy at cornerback shadowing DeAndre Hopkins? I know Geno's got a lot of heat, but I believe, Buddy, that Seattle's the real deal moving forward.
No doubt. They're very well coached. They've got great personnel. They've got they're the best 3 tight end team in the league. Like Will Dissly, Noah Fant, Cody Parkinson, they all can block, they all can catch, they all can run after the catch. And they run this one play. It's unreal. It's just this tight end drag off of boot action that Geno hits. And he hit all 3 tight ends last week. And nobody could stop it. Arizona, they got great athletes on the defensive side of the ball. They couldn't stop it all day. And when you get to Kenneth Walker, I don't think when they drafted him that they thought he was going to be better than Rashad Penny or Chris Carson, who ended up having to retire. But he's better than him. Because he has tremendous, cutting ability. His balance is crazy good. And then he's powerful. Like, he's constantly pushing the pile.
Yeah.
He's the perfect fit for that offense. And you can barely get the quarterback to make any kind of a mistake. So, good luck, and they have just the right complements between the tight ends, DK, along with Tyler. Like, it is a dynamic offense. Tampa's got their hands full this weekend over in Germany, but I just think that they're a very well-coached team, and they're only going to get better.
Who's this Woolen kid on defense? Who's this cornerback? He's a stud.
Pete, man. He finds them.
Well, I nicknamed him the Shadow, and I talked to him a couple weeks ago, and I said, is it because the only thing faster than Tariq Woolen is his shadow? So I said, can I get? So he was laughing because he saw this breakdown I did on him. He goes, keep the nickname, I love it, Baldy, blah, blah, blah. But, he's 6'4". He's the biggest corner in the league. Wow. And he runs a 4.25 40. He's the fastest player at the combine.
Wow.
Is he bigger than Brandon Browner?
He's bigger than Brandon Browner.
Wow.
I look at him eye to eye. And so, it's him and Sauce right now for the Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Wow.
And then you see his speed. Like, his speed is legit. Like, nobody could get past him.
Yeah.
And so he's got ball skills, speed. He's a great kid, too. He's bright-eyed. He doesn't know that he comes out of UTSA, and Conference USA, converted wide receiver, so he's got ball skills. And, he's Richard Sherman with great speed and bigger size.
Wow.
As you kind of view the landscape of the NFC, you're looking at all the division leaders. Tom Brady, obviously, we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt until he's finished, right? He's a legend. The Eagles and Jalen Hurts and Sirianni, and then you got the Vikings and Kirk Cousins and their rookie coach and all the different teams around. Why not the 49ers? Is there a team that they should fear more than others because of the coach, personnel, quarterback?
I think the reason why why not the 49ers is because of what they did in the postseason last year. They went into Dallas and beat a great Dallas team. They went into Green Bay and beat the MVP. Like, they showed you that they can play great football in January. The Eagles don't know if they can. Like, they don't know. Like, I work out in the Eagles, right tackle's barn yesterday. And I'm talking to him. And I'm like, hey, Lane Johnson, like, did you think that you'd be 8-0, Lane? He goes, maybe 6-2, 5-3, get ready for a second half run. So they're a little surprised by it, but A.J. Brown's been the difference.
Yep.
And all the guys they picked up on defense. So they've built their team, but they haven't been really tested.
Yeah.
They haven't had to come back in a game to win a game. They haven't needed a special teams play to go winning. Like, all the things that you need, you got to pull out.
Yeah.
In January, when it's sudden death, the pressure's on, just a quarterback who's played basically error-free football in Jalen Hurts, does he play error-free in January?
Yeah.
Like, you don't know any of these things about any of these players. Because, like Dak can put up great numbers year in, year out. He doesn't do it in the postseason.
Nope.
Hasn't done it. So until you do it, and that's the one thing about Jimmy. People can criticize Jimmy. They can do all that stuff. The guy's played some great football in January. And so, like, you kind of feel like if you get there, like, you can get that from him. You can get the plays you need to get made from your quarterback to help you win a game.
What about Minnesota? Before we get you out of here, Baldy. Minnesota 7-1. Kirk Cousins is dancing on the plane with the ice on. They pick up T.J. Hawkinson, a nice tight end from Detroit out of Iowa. Nobody's talking about them. Should we fear the Vikings? Is this the year of Kirk Cousins?
Well, I was talking to their running back, Alexander Madison, last week, and just to be clear, the swag name for Kirk Cousins is Purple 8.
Purple 8.
He's Purple 8 to the team, okay? So he's got swag. Look, T.J. Hawkinson made that team better. I can't believe they got him.
Steal.
He
From a
leads all
division
tight ends in the
rival.
league.
From a division rival.
He leads all tight ends in football with over 15 yards a catch.
Wow.
He gets traded on a Tuesday, and on Sunday he leads the Vikings in receptions. And to the point where Washington was doubling him and letting other guys get singled up and let them beat him. He's a different. He can beat man coverage. He's great in the middle of the field. He's great after the catch. He's a good blocker. They got better with T.J. Hawkinson. But it's the same question. Can Kirk do it in the postseason? And you don't know until you get pressured, and that third down is everything. You got to convert it. You got to make the throw. You can't miss. You can't give the ball back. Like, all those things that come down to one play sometimes in the postseason, he's got to do it.
All right, Baldy, where you at this weekend?
I'm going to see the Giants this weekend. Houston, the Giants. I wanted to see Brian Dable and this group because you talk about teams in the NFC, and they just keep finding ways to win games. And they have a little formula, like a lot of teams. They run the ball really, really good. They're very well coached. They're not talented, but they get the most out of their players. And sometimes that's a tricky formula when teams just don't beat themselves.
All right, he travels all over the world. He sneaks into concerts. He drinks beers and signs baseballs for Willie Mays.
Unbelievable.
He's the man, the myth, the legend, Brian Baldinger, who can't wait to talk to you next Tuesday to break down Niners and Chargers. Baldy, you're the best, man.
Thanks, guys. All the best, man.
Anytime. Brian Baldinger.
He just brings a smile to my face.
He's the best, man.
I mean, if I asked him...
Do-rag Baldy's back.
If I asked him about anyone on the planet...
he knows he's got
Mac
a story.
Dre, I'm sure he's like, oh, yeah, me and Mac Dre, we partied at an AC/DC concert.
I mean, one of the most underrated things about him last year was he knew about Stuntman and the big stepping dance.
All about
he
it.
was like, he called it in week 5 saying, this is going to be the dance of the NFL, this big stepping thing with Joe Mixon.
I've got 2 quick things. He brought up Hufanga on pace for 6 interceptions. What are the most interceptions since the Harbaugh era?
It's got to be, since a Harbaugh era.
Like, since about 2011, who do you think's had the most interceptions in terms of a single season?
Richard Sherman?
No. It was in the same year, Carlos Rogers.
Oh, you said since the Harbaugh era. I thought you meant post-Harbaugh.
Yeah, Deshaun Golson had 6 each.
Carlos Rogers that first year with Harbaugh, right?
Last 20 years, what's the most? You'll never get this name.
Last 20 years, most interceptions.
In a single season.
Gosh.
He also had the same name as someone who coached the Stanford Cardinal.
Shaw?
Walt Harris.
Walt Harris? The former Chicago Bear?
Yes, when he came to the Niners and had a Pro Bowl year in 2006 with 8 interceptions.
Walt Harris. Oh, my God.
Remember that name?
I do remember that name. He came over from Chicago, right? He's actually a good Niner.
He was solid. He was actually a really good player.
Walt Harris had
and then the
8
other
picks.
Walt Harris coached the 1-11
Yeah,
Cardinals.
no, I was thinking of the whole coach of Pitt Panthers.
Yeah.
He came over from the Pitt Panthers, coach
After
Stanford.
Tyrone and-
By the
yeah.
way, speaking of Stanford, David Shaw.
Yeah, it might be done.
Time to pull the plug.
Remember when everyone wanted him to coach the Niners?
I think he missed his boat. I think he missed his boat on the NFL.
Well, yeah, I think he got paid properly.
Probably. All right.
Injury time.
Yep.
It's time for the injury report. That really hurts. Brought to you by Boxer & Gerson, Northern California's premier workers' compensation law firm, helping injured workers get their lives back for over 40 years.
You know, it's good to have the YouTube chat back. I think we missed out on the question with Baldy. What's those Magic City wings? I think Baldy knows about those lemon peppers.
A WWE wrestler doesn't kiss and tell.
No doubt about it. By the way, Logan Paul I hear is a great WWE
He
wrestler.
tore his ACL and his MCL.
This past weekend?
Yeah, I think he...
Well, I thought he was fighting Roman Reigns.
No, I saw a picture of him. Well, do the injury report.
All right. The NFL is on the edge today as it awaits the status of one of its stars. Bills quarterback Josh Allen was evaluated yesterday for a possible tear of his right UCL after suffering an injury to the elbow at Sunday's loss to the Jets. His status for this Sunday's game against the Vikings is in question. The only good news for Bills fans and Josh Allen fantasy owners is that no official diagnosis has yet to be made and that Allen could return this season depending on the severity of the injury. There goes the Buffalo Bills season if he's out. There goes our fantasy seasons if he's out. Josh Allen was having a Dan Marino-like 84 season for the Buffalo Bills. This will be a tough blow for the Buffalo Bills and a tough blow for the NFL. We hate to see that happen to Josh Allen. The injury report brought to you by Boxer & Gerson, Northern California's premier workers' compensation law firm, helping injured workers get their lives back for over 40 years. What's coming up on the game, sponsored by Fremont Bank, full-service banking, no compromises. Gary St. Jean at 8:30. And we're going to get into some Bob Myers sound from Steiny and Guru on the other side here on the Morning Roast.
Why wait to save? Dell Technologies Black Friday event arrives early with select deals on top tech to power business productivity. The savings start now with up to 48% off performance business PCs powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Don't forget special pricing on the latest monitors, docks, and accessories, including free shipping on everything. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL for Black Friday deals. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Kirby, they're your driveway mechanic, and they bring the shop to you. And our friends over at Kirby just won the Motor Top 20 Award for innovation, brakes and tire replacements, oil changes, and so much more. They've just added Kirby's eco-friendly wash. It barely uses any water, and it makes your car look brand new. They use all biodegradable products that provide the ultimate shine and protection to both the exterior and the interior of your car, all in the ease of your driveway. The ultimate convenience, easy booking, transparent pricing, on-time arrival, service in your driveway, no waiting rooms, no coordinating rides. You get direct access to your mechanic, friendly, reliable service, no middlemen and no upsells. Get $50 off your first oil change with the code OIL50. That's OIL50. Or use the code JOEWASH, JOEWASH, to get a free sealant treatment with the purchase of Kirby's eco-friendly wash. Check out Kirby.com. That's CURBEE.com.
Universal Studios Hollywood is where the holidays come together. We've tested it. Festive food with refreshing Coca-Cola. Family, friends, and fa-la-la. Dazzling lights cranked up to maximum merriment. The Grinch and his dog Max stealing your tree. All the science adds up. It's the awesomest celebration of the season. Save $20 on a Coca-Cola 2-day general admission ticket. Offer ends 12/14/22. Restrictions apply. Details at universalstudioshollywood.com/Coke offer.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
With car prices at an all-time high, our donors are now getting highest receipts ever. Donate at carsforkids.org, and your car can be picked up tomorrow.
Cars for Kids, KARS
accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
If you own a business, this has been a bumpy ride. From pandemic to inflation, I'm sure you could use a break. If your business has 5 or more employees and survived COVID, you might be eligible to receive a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. The challenge is getting your hands on it. Hi, I'm Howard Mackler, and that's why I founded GetRefunds.com to cut through the red tape and get you the money. The team of tax attorneys we have put together are highly trained in this little-known payroll tax refund program. We do all the work, charge not a dime up front, and simply share a percentage of the cash that we get for you. Businesses of all types can qualify, including those that took PPP, nonprofits, and even those that had increases in sales. We have helped return over $1 billion to businesses, and we can help you too. Just go to
engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at repairclinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Oh, baby, good morning here on a Wednesday on the Morning Roast, 95.7 The Game. Drive safely to work. If you're just getting off of work, your graveyard shift, good morning to you. Truck drivers, janitors, plumbers, cops, firefighters, teachers, students, you name it. Toddlers out there in the car chilling, listening to the roast. Good morning to you, Lutman, Spadoni. I see Matson back there. Of course, you, Joe Shasky, as we talk some Warriors here in just a second. But I got to ask you, because we're going to take calls to the Warriors. We're going to play some Bob Myers sound. Steiny and Guru did a phenomenal job with Bob Myers yesterday, pressing him on the questions that the fans want to know. What's going on with the youngsters? What's going on with Klay Thompson? Can the Warriors turn it around? Would they be willing to trade some of these youngsters? Would they consider that? So we're going to get into that in just a second before Gary St. Jean at 8:30. But this contemporary ballot era Hall of Fame that Barry Bonds is on the ballot for, they're going to vote on it during the winter meetings December 4th, I believe. I never heard of anything like this before this came out the other day. I've never in my life heard about the contemporary ballot era Hall of Fame. What the hell is that?
It's basically guys from a certain generation that can get voted in after their now 10 years. It used to be 15 years on the ballot. And I'm looking at this is who's on this ballot. It's 8 players. And so you've got Albert Bell, Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Don Mattingly, Fred McGriff, Dale Murphy, Rafael Palmeiro, and Curt Schilling. And it features candidates whose player contributions are primarily from 1980 until current.
Okay. I've never heard anything like it. Now, Albert Bell is a sneaky under. Albert Bell's really good.
Okay, I'm glad you brought up Albert Bell.
But Barry Bonds.
How many career home runs for Albert Bell?
Oh, he hit over 500.
No, 381.
That's it?
Yeah. He kind of got blackballed out of the game because he was a bad dude.
Who's the guy who he just knocked out on the base path?
Yeah, that was second base when he was with
the Brewers.
The American League Brewers.
Yeah.
Let me give
Milwaukee County. What was it? Milwaukee County. Forget the name.
Well, it was where Major League the movie was filmed.
Yeah,
it was actually at the old Milwaukee County Stadium or whatever the heck it was. From 93 to 97. All right. This guy hit an average. This was his averages. Okay. From 93 to 97 for Albert Bell. 124 RBIs, 40 jacks. Oh, and, a batting average of 306.
He only hit 381 home runs?
He averaged 150 games a year.
He only hit 381?
I
swear to God, I thought he hit over 500.
He was kicked out of the game, essentially, at 33 years old in 2000. Remember, he had the cork bat.
Yeah.
He had a lot of the allegations of steroids. My favorite card that I have to this day is the one where he's got the Jerry curl dripping, and it's Joey Albert Bell.
And is the gold cap there, the gold tooth?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He had the gold tooth, remember?
Yeah, I'm all about the cards. You know that.
Yeah, I love the baseball cards, too, but the gold tooth was special. 381 home runs is sick.
Albert Bell's he's one of my favorite. One of the most feared players in the game.
No doubt. If you hit him with a pitch, you had to fear for your life.
He'd have the bat right here, and he'd pull it back and cock it. He was amazing.
He was on those Cleveland teams.
You got Bonds, Clemens, Mattingly, McGriff, Dale Murphy, Rafael Palmeiro, and Curt Schilling.
As you just mentioned, from 26 to 30. Gosh, he hit 202 home runs.
He's ridiculous.
He is ridiculous.
Come on, V. I'm telling you, he had a 5-year run that was as good as any. And by the way, go back to those Indian teams, all right, of the mid to late 90s.
Jim Thome, Roberto Alomar, Omar Vizquel, a young Manny Ramirez.
Yeah.
Young Manny Ramirez.
Sandy Alomar,
yep, no doubt.
Jack McDowell.
Yep.
I mean,
who? Dennis Martinez was a pitcher.
El Presidente.
Jim Plunkett.
Yeah.
Jim Plunkett.
And he had
not Jim Plunkett. That's a quarterback.
No.
Who's the Eric Plunk was a reliever.
Eric Plunk, yes.
Remember the reliever with the
Absolutely.
glasses? Yeah. That was great. That was a great team.
Carlos Baerga.
Oh, he was special. Then he had 49 home runs with the White Sox as a 31-year-old.
Come on,
49, 37, 23 with the Baltimore Orioles. Wow.
As we're talking about Barry Bonds, and I think this is and Willie Mays doc, because the Willie Mays doc was released last night on HBO Max.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, it's called The Say Hey Kid or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible. It's on the main page when you sign in. But I want to play the sound of Willie Mays talking about Barry Bonds getting in. And it felt like to me when you watch the doc, and we all knew this, Barry's godfather is Willie Mays. It felt like it was Willie as an old man pleading that this is a man, Barry, who's like a son to him, and I want him to get inducted while I'm alive. That's what it felt like.
When people talk about,
play it again.
When people talk about, who's the best ball player in the world? I don't care. Give somebody honor that deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. On behalf of all the people in San Francisco and all over the country, vote this guy in. He is very, very important to me. Thank you very much.
By the way, we missed Kenny Lofton according to the Xfinity Bubble text
him
line.
and Marquise Grissom got traded for each other. I believe when they won the World Series, he wasn't on the team. So I don't know, but whatever. They kept getting flip-flop for each other. Bell, Bonds, Clemens, Mattingly, McGriff, Dale Murphy, Palmeiro, Schilling. To me, I can't write the history of the game of baseball without including every one of those.
No doubt.
Crime Dog is one of my favorite first basemen of all time. Just shy of 500 home runs. Ultimate, contact hitter as well as power hitter.
Giants killer.
Staple at first base defensively.
He literally
changed the pennant race
in 1993. Changed the pennant race. He owned Billy Swift.
How about the
Owned him.
swing where the right arm, the lead arm, would go around the head
Well,
afterwards?
he may be more known for the commercial that played on ESPN all night long.
Yeah, the training videos.
Yeah, the training videos in the blue shirt. Crime Dog.
Crime Dog was one of my favorite players of all time.
He was unbelievable.
Giant
Think
killer.
about how stacked the Padres was. All right, we got Papa Shasky on the line here. Papa Shasky, we'll get the Bob Myers, I promise you. We're going to get the Bob Myers sound in just a
But
second.
shouldn't they all be in? Before we go to my dad, these guys all should be in. Don Mattingly was the captain of the Yankees for years and years and years and years and years.
Don't get me started on the Baseball Hall of Fame.
All these guys should be in.
I've been fighting for Fred McGriff and Gary Sheffield. Forget Bonds and Clemens for a second.
Yeah.
They're no doubt Hall of Famers.
Yes.
They're no doubt Hall of Famers. But Fred McGriff and Gary Sheffield, we just throw them to the side. Even Jeff Kent from crying. I've been crying for Jeff Kent. The 5-year run at second base is one of the greatest 5-year runs at second base in the history of the game.
I know.
The Giants don't win without Jeff Kent.
Altuve's breaking Kent's records.
I know. And he's going to walk into
For a
Cooperstown.
5-6 year run.
And he's going to walk into Cooperstown.
I
So
know.
where's the love for Jeff
I
Kent?
don't
Where's the
know.
love for Fred McGriff? Where's the love for Gary Sheffield?
Everywhere
It bothers
Kent went,
me.
they won.
It does bother me when those guys
I
are not in the
know.
Hall of
I'm
Fame.
with you.
Let's go to Papa Shasky here. Papa Shasky, I actually thought about you watching this Willie Mays doc, and then I saw his Facebook status this morning
What'd he
about
say?
he's just talking about the Willie Mays doc because as we shared, Papa Shasky, good morning to you. I know JoJo cried. I cried. I couldn't believe I was crying last night. I didn't tell Ed this, but I was choking up watching the end of that documentary. It was that special last night watching the Willie Mays doc on HBO Max.
Good morning, fellas. It's great to listen to you and talk to you this morning about that doc. I happened to get on right at 6 o'clock when it came on, and I was wondering if JoJo, if you were watching that, but I'm watching that, and there's a couple things that stood out to me. The very first is he's sitting on his dad's lap when he was a little kid, and that reminds me of you, JoJo, when we used to go out to the games. He used to take you out, and we sit on Wednesday afternoons out at Campbell.
The family pavilion.
Yeah, right. And I got to your first ball when Chris Brown hit that home run.
Yep.
He was playing for the Dodgers.
86.
Right, and so that brought back a lot of family memories, Joe, and a couple things that stood out. There was one hilarious.
Wait, before you go there, this was your favorite player growing up, no doubt about it, right?
Hands down. I mean, that's who I idolized. I mean, when he came here, I was, when he came here in 58, I was 1 year old, right? So, growing up, and he was it here, and I remember when then the doctor talking about him looking for a place up in Westwood Park in the city. My dad did a plumbing job at a house that he was going to buy at one time. So there was I had a lot of familiarity with the concept that they're talking about there, and then him talking about with his dad and you and I and Pat and growing up and the love of baseball and baseball is life. I mean, it was just incredible. And then coming full circle when he interviews Tito Fuentes. Now, Tito Fuentes, I had Juan Marshall's kids went to our grammar school, and Tito Fuentes came to two of my graduating. I've got two photos, snapshots with Tito Fuentes. And then Willie Mays, he talked about cup check. I started laughing about that when he hits him with the tip of the cup, and it was just hilarious. And then the end, talk about tearjerker. He's talking about the end. I mean, that was so emotional.
Yeah.
I could resonate on every part of that documentary.
Papa Shasky, let me ask you this. Let me jump in here. The guys who were in it, the cameos from
Tito
John
Fuentes.
Shea, Tito Fuentes, even Bob Costas brought his A game.
Yes.
He's dropping words, had to look up in the dictionary. And then Barry Bonds, the way
Bonds
Barry
was
Bonds
awesome.
set the tone for the documentary, and John Miller and the storytelling, I mean, it was well done. It took me 2.5 hours to get through an hour-and-a-half documentary.
Right. And then it was nice to see Willie's son Michael on there.
Yeah, that was special.
I think he gets overshadowed a lot because of Barry, and Barry taking him over to his dad and that whole moment of him wanting to have his dad in his life and then having his godfather in his life. It was just tremendous, just absolutely tremendous documentary.
Well, now, Bobby Bonds for a second. Like, you always talked about how great Bobby could have been. Seeing how fast he's running around the bases, Barry's dad, is pretty incredible, and how Willie took him under his wing.
So when I was a kid, my dad would listen to the game with the transistor radio. My mom would be watching TV, and I would be laying on the floor, on the front room floor, listening to the transistor radio. And I can remember when Bobby Bonds hit his first grand slam, and I'm laying there listening to it, and it was like in the end of the game, and that was a game winner, I think, if I'm not mistaken. It was a phenomenal. I mean, that moment right there grabbed me in baseball. That moment alone grabbed me in baseball.
That was an unbelievable documentary. Just everything about it, from the Negro leagues to the minor leagues to playing with the Giants, to the parade in '58 in San Francisco,
catches.
the basket catches. How about him playing stickball?
Instead of his accomplishments, is what kind of player Willie was.
Yeah.
What kind of person he was.
Yeah.
That really brought out a lot of who he was and how he mentored people and how people mentored him, right? And how he shaped his life. But some of the other black Negro players that mentored him and showed him what it was to be like to be a ball player.
I mean, just him driving to the stadium, the stickball, the ice cream, the stick, and then going to the stadium, and then how he was going to nightclubs. One thing, he was going to nightclubs, and the bosses are like, "Yo, 9 o'clock, get Willie out of here. You got a game to play. You're not getting in any trouble. You're the guy we're going to protect." It kind of reminded me, not to that extent, but like people looked up. Like when I was walking in the neighborhood growing up on Waller Street, people say, "Hey, Bonte, get off the block, go home, get the hell out of here." Certain people get protected, and the way they protected Willie, and then to see him driving to Candlestick Park, and the kids are right there, and he signed every single baseball. I think a lot of people need to watch the doc and to see him and Stretch and Juan Marichal and the baby bull Orlando Cepeda. I didn't realize how impactful Willie Mays was because obviously we weren't born, Pops.
Right. So I got one more little anecdote to say. My dad and I were coming back from, my dad was playing in Palo Alto Golf Course every Saturday, and I'm coming back, and I used to go down there with him, and we're driving back towards Candlestick Park from San Mateo, and we pull up along a four-door gold Mercedes 450 STL, and it says the license plate say "Stay A." We pull up alongside, and I'm like I was a little kid, and I'm jumping with joy, and he reaches over, and he gives a little wave because I'm giving a thumbs up, and I'm going high five. I mean, those moments I'll never forget.
That's great.
And to this day, we just did jerseys for our old man softball team, and he's furious at me that I gave 24 to someone else.
Yeah, I can't believe you would do that to your own dad. Why would you do that to Papa Shasky?
Dad, you're mad, aren't you?
I took Juan Marichal's number. I took 27, seeing that I'm pitching. So
there you go.
No, but those teams back then, I didn't know they were the second best attended games in all of baseball. They were the number one road team in terms of attendance, and just the diversity on that team. You had the Lou brothers. You had obviously Bobby and Willie Mays, Willie McCovey. Like there was so much diversity on that team. It was so unique.
And the second best record too.
Yeah.
Well, you guys know that when somebody says I got the Willies, you know what that came from? That came from going to bat against Willie Mays and Willie McCovey. That's where I got the Willies.
I didn't know that.
That's incredible.
I didn't know that.
That's incredible. The footage of Joe DiMaggio hitting the 2-run home run, the Indian series in '54, with Stretch hitting the line drive to lose the '62 World Series at Candlestick Park against the New York Yankees.
And then how about the last at bat that he didn't get put in?
Yeah. For the Mets, that bothered me. Yogi Berra.
He even said if he would have struck out, so what? At least give him a chance.
Give him a chance. And Bob Costa said, you got to give him his at-bat. His last at-bat ever, series against the Oakland A's? Come on.
Before we get out of here.
I was thinking about the other day when Dusty Baker didn't get Mauricio Dubon in the game in the World Series. I really felt bad for that kid. I thought a chance that he could have at least got a play 3 outs in the field, got an at-bat, maybe a pinch run, but nothing.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Mauricio Dubon.
Come on, we'll be fine. I saw Barry in a different light, and just to see him so, I think we've underrated, and I know people inside Bonds' inner circle know this. He's such a baseball historian savant. To see how giddy he was to kind of break down the whole thing, didn't that I don't know, I found that to be really endearing on Barry's behalf.
Well, he didn't want to pass his Godfather's home run record, and then he said to Barry and Willie says, "You got to do it. You've got to do it for your own legacy."
That was incredible.
That was so
and to bring him to San Francisco to see him crying, I went back. I'm going to do it today. I wanted to do it last night, but I realized, damn, it's already 10 o'clock. But I want to watch that introductory press conference again for Barry Bonds, where he's crying and how Willie got him back. And you know what, Papa? Before we let you go, give Larry Baer and Peter McGowan credit. They gave Willie Mays a lifetime contract saying, you have to be part of the Giants moving forward. You have to be part of it. You help bring the Giants to San Francisco. There's no San Francisco Giants without Willie Mays. So for them to give him a lifetime contract and have him at spring training every single year, they deserve credit for that.
Yeah, they do. And I got to give MLB credit, too, because they finally named the MVP for the World Series and Willie Mays' name. It's about time they did something like that. And it was fantastic to see that the Mets put his number up on their stadium as well.
Took them long enough.
So, are we going to get Aaron Judge? Like, what's going on here? You want Aaron Judge or what?
You got to have to get more than Aaron Judge. I like the kid from Los Angeles. I'm missing his name.
Trey Turner.
You got to have Trey Turner. You got to get another bat. The
Yeah.
guys we got, there's nobody's going to fear him if he's got nobody protecting him.
I know.
No doubt.
What a great little callback. Thanks for calling in, Pops.
All right, guys. You guys have a great day.
Absolutely. You too, Papa Shasky here on the Morning Roast. We'll get to Bob Myers right now, but don't forget tomorrow, we're going to have people call in and pitch a recruiting pitch as to why Aaron Judge should be a Giant. Why should Aaron Judge sign here? Why should Aaron Judge sign with the Giants? We're going to give you a chance to make your pitch. We'll have some special guests doing that tomorrow as free agency opens in Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball. I almost said the association because I'm thinking about Bob Myers. Bob Myers, who joined Steiny and Guru yesterday, and there's a lot of sound to get to here, so we're going to just rat-a-tat-tat some of these sound bites here. Here's what he had to say about the young guys helping, but still give the team a chance to win a championship. This was very very good stuff here with Steiny and Guru.
I've always kind of thought that when we drafted the young guys, eventually they'd help us. But in the meantime, let's try to give, like we did last year, this team a chance to win a championship. Don't know if it would happen or not. And again, you don't really know with youth. Sometimes 20-year-olds help you. Sometimes they don't. When they don't, you got to look to some of the veterans. Some of our vets haven't played. DiVincenzo, I think, is a veteran in some sense. Iguodala, we'll see when he gets back. We leaned on a lot of the guys last year, and I'm sure that's been stated as to the value that those minimum guys brought last year. We'll see. It's a long deal. I think the young guys will do more than they're doing. I'd be surprised if this is what it is this early. I think the bench will be better. The starters, they have a good net rating, but even them, I think there's growth.
No doubt about that. And here's what he had to say about Wiseman and Kuminga possibly playing in the G League.
I don't know, Matt. I think it's always an option. I know that in some minds, people's minds, that's a huge thing to do. I guess I don't view it the same. If they go down there and do a couple games and come back or more, it's becoming more commonplace. They just need to play. Both of them need to play. If they're not getting the appropriate minutes with the NBA, that discussion will come up. If it makes sense, we'll talk to Jamma, we'll talk to Steve, we'll talk to the coaching staff and Kenny and find out if they think that's the best course. They're the ones working with these guys every day. I do know on a simple level, if you're young and you're not playing, it's hard to get better. You'd like to play NBA minutes, but that's not the situation. Our team for whatever reason, our margin for error is slim right now to win games.
All right, and lastly, Shaska, before we respond to this, on what he needs to see before deciding whether or not they need to make some moves.
He's an unbelievable player, and to do what he did last night you got to treasure that for the people listening, because I don't care if you're a Warrior fan or 10 years old or 90. That's how guys shoot 17 to 24 from the field, 7 to 12 from 3, no turnovers. It's impossible. Like, you can't do that at the YMCA. You can't. It's impossible to do that stuff. And the shot, if you watch the game, the shots he was making are hard. Even the twos off the glass. I mean, these are hard shots to make with nobody guarding you. That's him. I know. I don't want to dismiss him. But, Matt, we got to see what do we look like. And if there's a buyout or something that you think helps. But we're that's getting way ahead of ourselves at this point.
All right, so a lot of Curry there, but then he says, we got to see what we look like before we decide to make any moves there. But he's talking about the youngster there, and I do believe a G League stint is in the future of Jonathan Kuminga and James Wiseman, but how does that help the big league club? How does that help the Golden State Warriors?
And what's transferable?
Yeah.
Like, of those minutes, so is he going to be running? Are they running the same system as the Warriors? You know, as we talk about who could come up, down, Quindary Witherspoon's been brought up a lot by a lot of people. I mean, he actually wouldn't be a bad idea right now in terms of perimeter defense and just giving them a little bit of size and athleticism. He's not going to make or break their season, but would you be open to maybe seeing him come up?
Absolutely. Now, is he down in the G League right now with the Santa Cruz Warriors?
I don't know what his affiliation is. He came out on ring night, and he was
waived. He was waived by the Warriors. I don't think he's signed with anybody right now. I could be wrong, but I think he's still out there on the street. I like Quindary Witherspoon. I really like him, and I think his athleticism over Ty Jerome. Now, can he hit the three like Ty Jerome? I don't know, but you need to be athletic out there. Ty Jerome the other night was just getting blown by. He's not athletic enough. He's a nice player.
He's a third point guard.
Yeah, but you can't play him every single night.
No.
You can't play him every single night.
I put him in the Chioza role.
Yeah, no doubt.
Right?
And so the Wiseman Kuminga thing is an interesting one. We'll get to the starters and Klay Thompson, and we'll hear from St. Louis.
Yeah.
These young guys are not going to get better by not playing. Bob Myers admitted that yesterday with Steiny and Goo.
Are you committed to living with the downs and occasional ups if they play?
I am. And you got to have a quick hook.
Okay.
But you got to play him. Okay. You got to play him. Like, Wiseman's not going to get better screen setting down in the G League. He has to screen set at the NBA level. He's not going to get better by watching.
Well, that's my thing.
And if he's not good enough, then you pivot.
Yeah.
And I'm okay to pivot off the number 2 overall pick from the 2020 draft. I'm okay with that. And admit that, hey, you know what? This guy didn't pan out. He can't play in our system. Let's move on.
Yeah.
That's the reality of pro sports. We do it we do it with the Giants. We do it with the Niners. We do it with every other team.
Yeah.
If James Wiseman can't play in the system, then you have to move on. And I'm okay with that. I think the young man has a lot of potential. But right now, it's not working out for the Golden State. I can't unsee what I saw on that road trip. The bad screen setting.
Yeah.
The lack of blocking shots, the contesting.
But it's
the lack of rebounding.
The question that I have is, it's like, we know he needs to play, but if he goes to the G League, and maybe it solves everything. Maybe it works out.
Yep.
What's transferable down there that he's going to learn or play with or stylistically?
Yeah.
And then, if he gets fed the ball, does that translate to how he's going to be used up here? I guess that's my question.
Yeah,
like,
because
what's it going to look like down
because
there?
he's not going to be fed the ball with the big league club.
But that's what I'm saying.
That's not transferable.
How do you simulate the settings of what he's going to be expected to do on the big league team while he's playing with different role? I don't know.
You've got to tell him to go down there, screen set, rebound, block shots, because that's what you're going to do at the big league club.
But then what is everyone going to say? How's he only scoring 8 points? And
you got to forget the noise.
I know.
You got to forget the noise for a second, So that's where we're at right now. It's not even shooting a 3. He's not even shooting a 3.
Well, he doesn't get the ball top of the key like he used to.
He doesn't get the ball at all.
I don't want him catching the ball at the top of the key like he's Bogut.
All right.
I want him as a high screen dive guy.
Yeah, I do too, and we're not seeing that. All right, what's coming up in the game? Sponsored by Fremont Bank, full service banking, no compromises, and the Department of Healthcare Services, and ChooseChange.org. The St. Lee one. Gary St. Jean makes his presence felt on the morning roast. That's coming up here on 95.7 The Game.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life or your choices with just one wrong pill. Find medically proven treatment options at ChooseMat.org.
Hi, welcome to the IKEA Holiday Prep event, here to help you host the season with offers, in-store workshops, and more.
Oh, great. I may have invited the whole neighborhood for the holidays.
Don't worry, you can do this. To start, IKEA family members save 20% on Venturfint Christmas tree decor and gift wrap.
You are my hero.
Visit us in-store or at IKEA-USA.com/holiday prep to get ready and save. Offer valid 11/9 to 11/23/22. U.S. only while supplies last. Selection may vary by store and online. Restrictions apply.
Everything, our farm, our stand, our pop-up shop, it really all started when we discovered the benefits of local, raw honey for our family.
And then we decided to turn it into a business.
We were looking for something to help us get up and running.
So we got the Chase Business Complete Banking Account.
It's more than a bank account. It comes with Quick Accept, which lets us take card payments anytime, anywhere in the U.S. using the Chase mobile app. Plus, we get same-day deposits at no extra cost. For us, it's more than honey. It's about sharing a little sweetness with the world.
Get the Chase Business Complete Banking Account with the essentials you need to help get your business going. Learn more at chase.com/business-complete-banking. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Quick Accept is not available in U.S. territories. Enrollment required. Usage subject to approval. Same-day deposits available for payments before 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday to Friday. Fees and rates apply for checking and processing. Limitations and restrictions apply. Participants compensated. Merchant services provided by Payment Tech LLC and WePay Inc. Subsidiaries of J.P. Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
This is your time to cash in at Cash Creek Casino Resort. To rock and to roll. Over the hills and bluffs. Go all out or go all in. With 4 stars and rising stars. Now we do more than ever, so you can do as much or as little as you want. It's your time to cash in at Cash Creek Casino Resort.
Salute our veterans and wrap up the Bay Area hot rodding season in style at America's favorite car show. It's the Good Guys 32nd Autumn Get-Together, and it's all happening this weekend at the Alameda County Fairgrounds in Pleasanton. See over 2,500 of the Bay Area's baddest hot rods, muscle cars, and trucks of all years on display. Plus, don't miss Good Guys CPP Autocross Series racing action featuring the Fall Shootout. Our Veterans Day weekend celebrations include our Vets for Vets Parade and so much more. It's all going down this weekend at the Alameda County Fairgrounds. Get details at good-guys.com.
This football season, adopt a new tradition that's sure to turn fans into family. The Jim Beam Highball. That's beam and soda over ice with a lemon slice. Share one at the stadium or make one at home. Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume. Copyright 2022, James B. Beam Distilling Company, Claremont, Kentucky. Drink smart.
No one knows where this market will go. Things could change tomorrow, next week, or next month. At Merrill, we've been here before, and history shows this is the time to stay focused on your future. Because through every market, the bull will always have your back. Find an advisor in the Bay Area at ml.com/bullish.
Merrill, a Bank of America company. What would you like the power to do?
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, registered broker-dealer, registered investment advisor. Member SIPC, a wholly owned subsidiary of Bank of America Corp.
Finding the right Medicare plan? Oof, no easy feat. Kind of like those dances my granddaughter loves making me do. But then I found Walgreens FindRx coverage. Lets you compare plans online, over the phone, or in person. Made Medicare shopping so easy. Plus, I found plans with low-cost copays. I can get down with that. When you need to talk Medicare, Walgreens is here. Start shopping today at walgreens.com/Medicare.
Anywhere fans go to cheer on their team, there are behind-the-scenes MVPs, ensuring everything is game day ready. We see you, Joe, fixing seats so every fan can enjoy every game. And Allie, who keeps her stadium running smoothly from the moment the first game starts to the last play of the season. At Grainger, you're our MVPs, and we're always here for you, with supplies and solutions for every industry and 24/7 customer support. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. See better and stay safe on the road with our visibility event. Right now, you can earn up to $20 in bonus rewards when you buy a pair of Rain-X Quantum Wiper Blades and Sylvania Silverstar Ultra headlights. Take advantage of the rewards from October 31st until November 13th, in-store or on AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply. Offer available to AutoZone Rewards members.
In Palo Alto, it'll be 58 and partly cloudy today.
Weather brought to you by One Thing. Install a low-flow shower head and keep water off when brushing teeth or shaving to save water every day. Join Odyssey, and together each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow.
Score big with Xfinity Internet. It's made to do anything, so you can do anything. Supercharge your home with the game-changing speed of supersonic Wi-Fi. With 3 times more bandwidth, it covers the field and then some. And blocks billions of threats with advanced security that helps keep you protected at home and on the go. If you're keeping score, that's internet that does it all. That's unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas.
This is Steve Kerr, and you're listening to the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game.
Bob, I know you can't comment on this player, so I'm not trying to get you in trouble, but boy, did your boy take it last week from Steiny and the fans, because Dwight Howard, former MVP, 3-time NBA All-Defense, he said he wanted to play for the Warriors and he can have an impact on Wiseman. And all I was saying, and I know you guys got Jokic's old coach, I forget his name at this juncture, but I'm like, man, if they could get a big that's done it in this league, that can show James how to throw his weight around and get that position and rebound, is that a crazy thought to have?
Goo, I think I got to go. I mean,
he's playing in Taiwan now.
You guys, by the way, I love the back and forth.
Right. Here you go. All right, go and answer the question, and I'll let you go with one more. All right, they don't want Dwight Howard. Okay.
It was like Goo got hung up on the rim like the old Sprite commercial, and he knew it, and he was falling down, and he just started laughing. I love Goo.
You got Jokic's coach.
That was like a 38-second question.
Well, you only got 38 seconds. You didn't start the clock on time.
I know, I didn't.
Somebody on YouTube chat said he had a 51-second question last week. People are charting Goo's questions. That's not right, man. Leave Goo alone. He's doing a hell of a job. Goo did a hell of a job.
The plus minus?
Yeah, dude, they did a hell of a job, man. Dwight Howard in Taiwan playing for the Taiwanese Leopards. He's not going to help James Wiseman throw that weight around now.
Can I ask why we do this as sports fans and sports? And it's not just the media. The fans do it as well. Why do we do this like intrinsic property thing where we're like, get player X to teach player Y how to play the game. Isn't that what the coaches are for? Yeah, you can learn a little. Like we did this with Brady forever. Ryan Mallett will be great because he's standing next to Brady.
Yeah, no, it's not happening.
Jimmy Garoppolo learned at the feet of Tom Brady. Did he?
Man. All right. Saintly.
No, but like, what, can I ask why we do that?
I don't know why. I don't do that no more. I don't know why people do that. Especially Dwight Howard. Especially Dwight Howard.
The way he
especially
played.
Dwight Howard.
Like the guy with the least amount of fundamentals.
Yeah, we're not talking about Hakeem Olajuwon and Dwight. We're talking about Dwight Howard, who never developed an offensive game. He just basically dunked the ball. All right,
and I'm not saying they can't be sages for some of these people, but we think that they're going to like bestow all of their wisdom of how to bully someone on the court.
Saintly's probably sitting down the line laughing and listen to him tonight on Warriors Roundtable with Kevin Dana, our boy Kevin Dana. I've seen it all over NBA TV these days. Kevin Dana this evening at 6 p.m. on 95.7 The Game. Warriors Roundtable again with the Saintly one. Kevin Dana, Saintly this evening, 6 p.m. on 95.7 The Game. But let's talk to Saintly right now. Gary St. Jean, longtime GM, head coach, assistant coach. He's been all over the NBA. He knows all about the NBA. Saintly, I know you had a nice little chuckle there thinking about Dwight Howard signing up with the Golden State Warriors to teach young James Wiseman how to play basketball.
Happy Wednesday, fellas. I hope the food is good over there.
It is good. I've been by Lenardi's, by the way. I got to say, Saintly, before we get this conversation, there's a Lenardi's right up the block from my crib.
Oh, yeah.
And the broccoli cheddar soup. Oh, my God. It runs out at like 1 p.m. It is so good. And then they've got the clam chowder. And it's like, what do I do here, Saintly? Do I go broccoli cheddar? Do I go clam chowder? Well, you know what? The hell with it. I'm getting both. Lenardi's got the best up there, man. I'm telling you.
Ponte, you know where I'm going this morning?
Lenardi's.
I'm going to Lenardi's to get the chicken soup. The chicken
God.
soup is my grandson William's favorite. A lot of noodles, a lot of chicken, carrots, some celery, great broth. Oh, my God. I'm fired up.
Oh, I'm fired up, too, man. I may have to get all three down tonight. Now I'm getting fired up about the Cleveland Cavaliers coming in Friday.
Wait. No, before you get to that, Saintly, you love sports in general.
Yeah, no doubt.
We've been talking about the Willie Mays doc in general. It just came out last night. I'm sure.
Yeah, that's a good call.
I don't even know if you've seen it. But as a sports fan, and I know you love your Red Sox, and I know you love your Boston teams, what does Willie Mays mean to you?
Oh, gosh. Hey, guys. I grew up in Chicopee, Massachusetts. The next town over was Springfield. The Giants had a AA team there. I saw, when I was probably 8-10 years old, I saw Juan Marichal pitch in the minors. I saw all the Alou brothers.
Wow.
I saw Jim Davenport. I saw Jim Ray Hart.
Wow.
Pagan. Go on and on and on. And so I had obviously the Red Sox were my team, but I had a tie to the Giants. And as a young kid, you know, black and white, you got the Saturday game of the week, and you saw this guy. And you only read stuff in the newspapers. You know how you read your box scores and stuff like that? We didn't have ESPN. And this guy was amazing. And then the nickname, the Say Hey Kid, you know, and I just love the outpouring of love. All the people from the Giants and the past and the present, and he deserves every single bit of it because that's an icon. He's a legend.
Yeah, we teared up watching it last night, St. Lee.
Oh, you guys saw it?
Yeah, watched it last night, man. It took me 2.5 hours.
My dad's favorite player.
Yeah, it took me 2.5 hours to watch an hour-and-a-half documentary because I kept rewinding everything. John Shea for the Chronicle, John Miller, you had Costas, you had Barry Bonds, you had Juan Marichal, the baby boy, Orlando Cepeda, all talking about the impact that Willie Mays made and had on their lives. And, of course, Willie McCovey, who's no longer here with us, to see footage of him, it made us tear up. So I'm glad you were able to share those stories. And you got to see these guys in AA, watch the game of the week. That's so cool.
Phenomenal. Hey, listen, and the Giants are going to come back. It's cyclical. They're going to have a good offseason.
No doubt. Aaron Judge, we're going to make that pitch to him tomorrow. What would your pitch be to Aaron Judge?
What would your pitch be? I mean, obviously, Lenardi's is the number one seller.
You're a great pitch man,
He can have chicken soup here, and I'll take care of him with some other stuff. But at the end of the day, let's get Aaron Judge because I want Bogarts to stay with the Red Sox.
There you go. All right, let's talk some hoops here.
How about our Willie Mays right now? Steph Curry. I know everybody's losing their minds right now about the team and the record, and rightfully so. But just for a second, can we pause about how special this man is? And maybe he's not on Willie's level in terms of the impact on society, but God, he's one of the greatest players I've ever seen, and I just marvel that he's still able to do it at such a high level.
Well, you can argue at the end of the day, he's going to be close to Willie, and he's going to be one of the sports legend icons ever in the Bay Area, and he's that quality person. I just can't give him enough praise for what he does off the court. So for you guys to think about this, 47-8-8. Now, I know the team isn't playing as good as you want it to, but you're watching the game just to watch him.
Yeah.
It's absolutely phenomenal what he's doing. If anything, he looks better than ever. I mean, think about this, the way he takes care of himself, to be able to, the other team, their whole focus is him because they see other guys struggling. We're going to double team him. We're going to triple team him. We're going to take this away. Baloney. I mean, he's the guy in any kind of shot like, but you and I have talked a lot about this.
Yeah.
He didn't used to go to the hoop like this and finish and take the bump. He's stronger. It's just every aspect of his game, and he's so smart and he's locked in. It's special to watch, and you'll see Friday going against that terrific young backcourt with Garland and Mitchell. Those guys are looking up to him. There's no doubt about it.
Gary St. Jean here on the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game. Steph Curry, the first NBA player to have 45-plus points, 8-plus rebounds, 8-plus assists, and no turnovers, St. Lee, in a game since Larry Legend, Larry Bird, back on March 16th, 1990. So that's special when you're in a category with Larry Bird. And Mully always talks about this, that he resembles Larry Bird more so than any other player in the league. Larry Bird and Rick Barry, for that matter, because of the way he moves off the basketball, St. Lee.
I like that.
Like
Mully's on top of it.
He is on top of it.
Mully wore 17 because he loved John Havlicek, who was also terrific.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Hondo. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And
greatest
so you
six
can throw
man
that
ever.
at Mull. Just got to stay on top of it.
No doubt.
I'm going to tell you guys, he is dangerous. Here's a good example for all the listeners. When he gives up the ball, he's coming down the middle of the floor. He passes left or right. Then he cuts toward the basket. He doesn't receive a pass. Then he's dangerous. Because in the system, if you're a perimeter guy and he's down in the paint, you automatically come in and screen for him. Now he comes off the screen and he utilizes it in beautiful fashion. He fades or comes up tight to the elbow. But there's so much emphasis on him. The guy who sets the screen invariably is wide open. So it's how he makes other people better. That's why I'm not losing any sleep or hope about what's going on. It's going to come together. This is a marathon, not a sprint. He's carrying this team right now. The only two guys that are playing above average for me, and he's playing stupendous, is him and Wiggins.
Yeah.
Beyond that, you can't win the debate. I'll buy your chicken soup.
Andrew Wiggins, his second double-double the other night against Sacramento, 5 of 5 in the fourth quarter, 13 points, 3 threes. Curry and Wiggins scored 30 out of 37 in that final frame for the Golden State Warriors. But speaking of which, you talk about those two guys playing above at an elite level. What about Jordan Poole? His last 20 games, including the playoffs, 14 points a game, 43% from the floor, and 33% from the three-point line. St. Lee, it feels like if his offense is not going, if he's not rolling offensively, it affects the rest of his game.
Well, you're hitting right on it. And we're talking about our man Mully. You can't play at one speed. You got to change your gears. And right now, he's trying to play like a race car. He's just playing so fast. That means to me he's pressing. You got to let it come to you and know what's going on. When I watched him early in the year playing pick and roll with
Wiseman,
I said, wow, this is beautiful. Pete Carrill, my old assistant, Hall of Famer, Princeton. Read the man in front of you. He'll tell you what to do. If he plays off of you, shoot it. If he crowds you, drive it. He's pressing so fast, I don't know if he even sees anybody in front of him. He's a good kid. I think he wants to be great. He's pressing a little bit, and it'll come together for him. He's a talent that he's going to find his way. You're playing a lot of young guys, and when you're playing young guys, I told you guys my thing that MJ tells me, patience is a virtue. Seldom in a woman, never in a man. Got to be patient.
So how do you, behind the scenes, how do you work out this balance with some of the older guys and the younger guys, and not just the coaches being patient, but all the team being patient and the different ages, and you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you work that out behind the scenes?
That's the beauty of coaching. Now, let me tell you guys, Nobody played yesterday because everybody voted, I hope. But to have 3 days here in an NBA season, Bonte, that's unheard of.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like they're going back to training camp. They can really get some things done. I'm looking for them Friday to come out and play well against a really good young team in Cleveland. They're going to work on continuity, reading the play and what the options are and all that kind of thing. The struggle to me is blending these young guys. But the whole key is going to be the defense. We've talked about Steph. We talk about Clay and all the past, what's gone on. But why do you win championships? The constant was a tough, team-oriented, smart defense. Right now, you don't have a feel for that.
Yeah.
And it's because of the youth. And, I don't know what the hangover from winning the championship, the trip to Japan, the Draymond situation. A lot of things been going on. And I'd like to feel you got a great coach. I've told you guys my top 3 coaches in the league, Popovich, Spoelstra, and Steve Kerr. Mm-hmm. Steve is just special. And he's got a quality staff. But to have Andre Iguodala and these older guys to help these younger guys, it's a collective effort. It's not about I and me. It's about we and us. And I don't see anybody pouting. I don't see anybody putting their head down. And I think it's going to come together. I just do. It's just the fact that, the 2 guys to me that everyone's expectation levels are through the roof are Weissman and Kuminga. Mm-hmm. Well, there's no debate here. The 3 of us agree. Those are great young athletes. But you can't teach experience. Mm-hmm. And they don't have it yet. Yeah. And how do you get it? You got to play. Well, you don't hand minutes to anybody. So people say, what are you doing? I'm not playing Weissman the other night. Hey, this is short term. They're figuring out the rotation. He'll get back out there. What happens if he had a great practice yesterday and a great practice today and tomorrow?
Yeah.
You know what? Hey, come on down here. Sub in for Looney. And you know what? This is the way it works. You're not going to be handing anything on a silver platter to these guys.
No doubt.
If there was something on the court that you could do to maybe make the game a little easier for those guys, I'm not trying to tell you to, tell Kerr how to cook. But what would maybe your suggestion be if they came to you and they said, hey, how would you free these guys up and make things simplified for them?
I'd understand the spacing concepts, and Bonte knows this. The Warrior system is like no other. In our day, Mully, myself, you called a play, and you got that guy a shot. Well, now it's a motion or passing game offense with a lot of people movement and a lot of ball movement. Understand when you're expected to cut hard. Understand when you're expected to pick. The ball will find you if you do your job and stay within the system. Don't try to hunt the ball. If you hunt the ball, you're going to get in trouble.
Yeah, no doubt. That's a good point.
That's a tough thing for a young guy because they've been stars when they've been young.
Yep.
They've had the ball all the time. Let the ball come to you. It'll happen.
Before we get you out of here, St. Lee, you're speaking of hunting, and it feels like Klay Thompson is hunting shots because he's trying to get back in one game. He's trying to hit that grand slam in 3 minutes there, and it feels like he's pressing a little bit.
Yep.
What have you seen from Klay Thompson early on, and should this fan base have some faith in Klay Thompson? Maybe not return it to the Klay Thompson that we saw in 2019, but maybe the version we saw in the playoffs last season.
What the heck's the matter with that? Bonte, I'm with you. Listen, and we've been spoiled.
Yeah.
We've been spoiled with this fabulous team. So everybody's expectations. I was listening to Bob Myers or reading something about every time he goes out in the street, he crosses the street. Hey, Bob, trade for this guy. Get this guy to play. And I used to get that, but I had no players that nobody wanted. and so now I'm looking at Klay, and listen, Celebrini, the staff, those guys, they're being prudent, not playing back-to-backs, managing his minutes. Listen, this guy's got a huge heart, big, big, big pride, one of the greats. So sometimes you have to take the reins away from the player, and you have to explain to him, we're going to get there. Just believe in us. So it's frustrating for him. So you're saying he's hunting shots? Sure, because his minutes are down. But you know what? I'm seeing some things I like. Like when situations get hot a little bit, He moves those legs a little bit on D, vintage Klay Thompson. Forget about the great 3-point arsenal and the scoring and all that. In his day, he was a fantastic defender. Not good, fantastic. So what you say is, hey, we're going to get back there. Trust us. We're working on the lateral mobility to allow you to guard these fast wings. Let me tell you, look at the respect that Booker showed for him when they got into it in the Phoenix game. This guy's one of the greats. So be patient, my friends.
Saintly one, you're so calm and smiley and happy. And
I didn't used to be.
Well, that's what I want to ask you.
We're going back to the draft lottery, and I got the image of you when the Warriors would never get the top 3 pick, and you just sit up there like it was tough.
Hey, wait a minute, you guys. I got you guys fired up on the chicken soup, and now you're taking me all the way back to my days with the lottery.
No, I'm just saying, you've come a long way, Saintly.
Did you?
Well, hey, listen, I got a lot of stress in my life right now. William's going to be here in about 7 minutes. I got to put my helmet on the bike. William says, Papa, safety first. And down we go to the Montessori school. Now, when he comes home, when I pick him up later, he looks at me, he says, Papa, let's go get a smoothie. So then we got to get on the bikes and get on the bike trail in Danville and go down to the Jamba Juice. Listen, guys, this is tough being a retired NBA guy.
Strawberries Wild is my favorite.
Strawberry banana.
Saintly, before you get out of here, give me a time that you had to flip the spread or the equivalent of that in the locker room. Like, paint the picture for me. I want to know when you were at your most irate and you were ready to kill someone. Tell me it involves someone like, I don't know, Popeye Jones or something. I want to hear some crazy names.
Listen, when I was up in Sacramento, MJ counted them. I broke 7 watches in 1 year.
Oh my God!
Slamming the scorer's table.
What?
Yeah, I did. You know, lefty. So lefty's getting up off the bench. God damn it! What are you doing? Bam! There goes another watch. Finally, I was not allowed to wear watches. I was costing us a lot of cash.
Who was the bane of your disdain?
Oh my gosh!
That's easy. Olden Polynice.
Olden Polynice. He's been tweeting at Kevin Durant this past all season.
Why? What made you so angry with them?
He was. Do you guys remember Leave It to Beaver?
Oh yeah,
of course.
He was Eddie Haskell.
Oh no!
You know, he just smiled. Oh, Mrs. Cleaver, you look beautiful today. Then the next thing he'd say to Wally or Lumpy, hey guys, let's go do this. Let's go do that. Oh boy!
Hey, Saintly, we got to. William has a day off on vacation. We got to get you back in studio, man, and just talk shop with you. I miss you, man.
How did we get to Leave It to Beaver?
I don't know, man. Who knows?
We went from Willie Mays to Leave It to Beaver.
Yes, no doubt
and
about
broken
that.
Rolexes.
And broken Rolexes. Saintly, you have fun on that bike ride. We love you, man. We can't wait to talk to you soon. Can't wait to see you back at Chase Center as well. Don't be a stranger. We'll get you in the studio, man. When you wake up early, you want to talk some shop about the Patriots and what's going on with Mac Jones. And don't forget, listen to Saintly tonight on Warriors Roundtable with Kevin Dana this evening at 6 p.m. right here on 95.7 The Game. Saintly, safe ride.
Yep.
Safe ride. Safety first, Papa.
Thanks, fellas. Take care. Have a great day.
You too.
Saintly one.
You know, Bonte, we always like to do the box score thing as we pivot off of Saintly before the boys come in. I'm going to be real quick here. That contemporary Hall of Fame that was coming out.
Right.
There's a player that I didn't know much about because I didn't see him a lot, and I know other people maybe have. Dale Murphy. What is your impression of Dale Murphy?
Well, growing up, I used to always get his baseball cards, and he was the guy for the Braves before they grabbed Glavine and Smoltz and who was it? Avery. Remember they had the pitcher
David Justice?
Avery. No, not David Justice, of course, no doubt. But
Ron Gant.
Steve Avery. Steve Avery, the pitcher.
The pitcher.
The pitcher.
Yes.
When they were coming up, Dale Murphy kind of ushered in that new era because he was on those teams that were. He was Mr. Brave. He was like Don Mattingly with the Yankees, always losing,
Todd
always
Helton
losing.
for the Rockies.
But he, exactly. So I thought Dale Murphy. I could have swore he was in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But the way he's talked about in baseball circles.
2-time MVP, Gold Glover 5 times over. Let me give you 82 through 87, the combined years, okay? His average, these are his average. He averaged 289. He struck out 130 times. He was one of those, I'll hit jacks, I'll hit for high average, but I'll swing and miss a lot. 105 RBIs, 36 home runs.
Wow.
28 doubles. That's what he would average over a 6-year period.
Unbelievable.
One of the bad dudes.
One of the bad dudes.
I'm talking about bad dudes.
He was good. I'm now looking at Saintly's record in the NBA, man. He has some long years in Sacramento. long years. Odin Polynice. Mitch Richmond was on those teams. So Mitch Richmond, of course. Red TMC night's coming up.
Yeah, and when I think of those the Sacramento teams, one of the guys that I got to meet at a Reebok 3-on-3 tournament was Odin Polynice.
Yeah, Odin Polynice.
And he was super nice.
Yeah, he was going at it with KD. He broke 7 watches during the season.
Wayman Tisdale I got to meet.
Wayman
Very
Tisdale,
nice as well.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, a lot of great players.
Let's go Shaka Berkeley real quick before we go flex. He's been on hold for a while. My man Shaka. What's happening, Shaka?
Man, will you please rise, man, for the judge, man. Hopefully we'll be able to get him, man. Great to see you brothers, man.
I love that.
I want to apologize to my good brother, man, for butchering his name, man. I'm sorry to ask you for the last time we
It's okay.
Man. Hey, name is everything, as your father just showed us, man.
Oh, thank you.
Man, I want to talk about the Warriors as a team, man. After seeing those 5 losses in a row and coming home, I knew that game the other day was a big one. You know, we had to have it. And to see how Steph came out there at first going 7 for 7. Then as soon as he came out the game, he was up by 12, and then it turned into they was winning by 4 at the half, I believe. So as soon as he went out the game shifted. A pass to Kuminga where he should have caught it. It went out of bounds. 2 long jumpers. Then at the end, he came and used his athleticism and dunked the ball in the basket. And that's what we want from him, is going to the basket. And that's why I think he was sat down for a minute. But I think that eventually we'll be all right. But we should have kept Peyton.
It's a tough loss right now. Tough loss right now. Peyton hasn't played a game yet for the Blazers, and they're 7-3 right now. So it's a tough loss, and folks are going to talk about it all season long. All season long, unless the Warriors go out there and make something happen there. There could be moves. Bob Myers said it. Look, they consider themselves a contender, the Golden State Warriors, that is. Bob Myers, GM and President of Basketball Operations, told Stein and Guru yesterday, we consider ourselves contenders, and so let's see where we're at in 25 games. Let's see where we're at in 30 games, and moves may be made by the Golden State Warriors because, again, Cheska, I think you're with me here. As long as they finish in the top 6, home court advantage would be great for a potential Game 7 at home. But this team has proven to me that they don't necessarily need home court advantage. They can win on the road. They've won on the road in 27 straight series. They're fine on the road. They'll win at Chase Center and protect home court. But can you get to the top 6? Or right now, that's going to be a struggle because we don't know what we're getting from this bench.
Yeah, I think the number one thing for me, obviously you have to be in the playoffs, form.
Right.
And then I'll worry about seed. I need them to get up to form.
Yeah.
Form matters for me. I want rhythm and chemistry.
Right.
And I want the team playing well and feeling good about themselves.
To me, it's a game-by-game process.
Of course.
I don't even want to look at the record right now. Win games.
Yeah, form.
Stat games.
Yeah.
Build good
Look
habits.
good.
Form. All that good stuff. Don't forget the 415ers podcast. Niners are coming off their bye. So what did they do to get ready for Sunday Night Football against the LA Chargers? Listen to the 415ers podcast to find out how Kyle Shanahan can get the most out of Christian McCaffrey and get ready for kickoff with host Evan Giddings and Mark Grandy. Follow the 415ers on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcast. And folks, 888-957-9570 tomorrow. It's your chance to make your pitch to Aaron Judge on why you should wear the orange and black. That's coming up tomorrow on the Morning Roast. But in the meantime, let's flex.